gotta be
But
something.
it doesn't have to be a major thing. I think that's where a lot of people don't get it. You can have some type of boundaries. You can have some type of preference. Not everything is going to be.
What are your
check it.
non-negotiables?
My non-negotiables.
Moving forward. She's like, when I was 18?
Now?
Like how have your non-negotiables evolved over time? Is really what we're trying to get
There
to
we go.
here.
Yes, sir! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
What if they're already awake?
Who else but us? Who else but us, baby? We back.
Hello?
April, was it 16th in the future?
Something like that.
It's 16th, right? I'm Marlon.
I'm Alicia.
Welcome back to Extra Gravy, man. We packing this fuck up, man.
Wow. You and that gunshot.
I mean, I'm pressing it a lot. It's very delayed right now.
Super slow.
Very delayed.
I was like, is another one gonna?
My gun is jammed.
5 minutes later.
My gun is jammed. My gun is just as late as Norm. Norm will be joining us shortly. He's fresh off his trip. Touring comedians. We are professionals. Sorry. I feel really good about comedy right now. Had a really good set. It just takes one bomb for me to go right back down. Right back down in self-esteem, but I'm feeling good, man.
You better
Feeling
watch
good.
what you're saying, right?
Hey, man. I had a great show this weekend. Shout out to my boy Toby, Stack Market. Yeah, man. Had some dope shows. Shout out to Cliff. Had me on his show. I had 4 shows this weekend. What am I saying? 3? I had 4.
Nice.
Shout out to Keri Bradshaw for having me on her show. Yes, that is Keri Bradshaw, not Keri. 'Cause she's
Curry.
brown.
Yeah.
And horny? I don't know. Maybe loves shoes. What is Keri Bradshaw on the show? Oh, wait. She's
a
a
writer.
clown.
She's a journalist.
She's a
yes.
bird.
She did like.
She's a bird.
She's obsessed with fashion.
I never watched the show, but I watched the 2 movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Great stuff. I was inclined to watch the show, and then my girl started rewatching it, and I saw people like you people 1-2 episode and your girl's in the living room, whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
Nah.
I will never watch that show. Although I will say, every white male actor
Yeah.
that has ever become a star
Was on that show. Yeah.
It's fucking unreal how much people are on that show. She's dated all of them.
Of course.
She's dated every white
But
boy
I mean,
in
she
Hollywood.
really only had 2 main ones, Aiden and Mr. Big. Those were her
take your
2
word for
go-to people. She had others, but those were her.
Mr. Big.
Those were her guys.
Like a puppet. Just that boy, he good.
Even till the end.
He good, man.
Yeah.
I when he left her at the altar,
Yeah.
I was in the theater like, this nigga
What?
cold, bro. This boy cold, man. Yo, I fear women's friends and family.
Why?
Way too much to do that.
Oh, because you're scared they're gonna like pull up on you or
Bruh.
something like that.
What?
Well, it's kind of like what's his name, Devin on Love Is Blind the last season. Him and Virginia, and how Virginia said no, and his family was in the audience like, what? And the niece was like, what's going on? And the dad's like, she doesn't want to marry him.
So
And then the
dramatic.
sister was like saying all of these things, but she said that Virginia, I watched her episode.
Talk about it.
What's the reality with AD?
AD, who's killing the podcast game, by the way.
Yeah.
Killing the podcast game. She's very entertaining.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Very entertaining. And
She's
she's
like-
not a kid afraid to ask the questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll go there.
She's a star for sure. She just naturally, you know?
She reminds me of what's her name that was on Love Island US. Do you remember? Did you ever watch Love Island US?
The new one?
No, the season before the latest
No,
one.
I only watched some
There's
of the
this
last
black
one.
girl that was on there, dark skinned girl, short hair. Can you look it up for me?
Oh,
Cachet. A star.
Cachet.
A star.
Is she the one that she ended up hosting? Was she the one that hosted?
Perfect Match? No,
Perfect
no.
Match? Oh, okay.
I hate her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she's
no.
a little annoying.
I know who that is.
Justine?
Oh, the
She's a little
worst.
annoying, yeah.
Clout chaser, man.
Yeah.
But
That's
Cachet
not the
could have been a
difference.
star.
That's not the difference between AD and Justine. That's her name. Like Justine wants it. She wants the attention. She wants to do this. Adie, she just seems like a down to earth kind of girl, vibing, but has such a bubbly personality, knows how to interact with people. And so I gravitate to her a lot more than what I would with the Justine person, because it's way too forced with the other one.
I rate people who can forget the camera's there. Where Justine seems like she's always aware the camera's on.
Because she wants to know.
She wants to be in.
She wants to have that moment.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see AD in Perfect Match and see how that goes out, because that's when she finds.
Now.
What?
It's too late now. She's what? Wait,
she already did it. Yes, that's how they met.
Oh,
so
this is gonna be lit.
This is the upcoming season.
Oh, this is gonna be lit.
Yeah.
I did not know that's how her and Ollie met. So Ollie, for those guys listening, he was on
Love is Blind London. UK.
Was it? Yeah, it was UK one. He was with a young lady. They seemed like they got on great during the show, but the girl was very like low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Very insecure, didn't really believe his words a lot of the time. And I can't remember if that's what led to their ending.
I just don't think she was ready.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I don't think he was ready. I think, was it him who called it off or her? I can't remember, but
I think it was her.
She might have called it off, but I think it was obviously it was for the best.
Yeah.
But I just knew that at the end of the episode, I was like, I don't know.
There's something, missing.
Yeah, there's just, they could work, but I just don't think it's the one.
Yeah.
When I seen her, AD and Ollie's interview and talking together, I felt
the spark was undeniable.
A chemistry,
They're giggly. They're like, they can't look at each other without smiling. It was like,
that's why I'm excited.
You could feel it in the air. Like,
that's why I'm excited for Perfect Match, because I want to know.
That's lit. I wonder if they won.
They didn't say that. Like, obviously, they can't talk about it.
But like, if they won, that'll be interesting.
What if they weren't even paired at first?
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Because you can like you can swap people. Like the last season, those people swapped.
They be swapping
the girl.
like nonstop.
Yeah.
Because they're all villains, so they all know what it takes to make a good TV show.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about Perfect Match. Like half of them are villains.
Yeah, not all of them were villains.
Yeah, no, some of them are
good.
just unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah.
But they're there. They're being led to the slaughter by Netflix. Like the innocent ones, they know what they're doing by putting them on that show. They put the needy, clingy ones in the house with the villains, the cold-hearted ones, and hope that somehow, when Harry was in there, I was like,
Harry is...
It's that boy
so special.
Is special. Yo, but
I was talking about Virginia and Devin.
Yeah. Wraps us back to Virginia. Talking about how Devin was told beforehand. Essentially, before they got to the altar.
She had a conversation with him, and she was just like, I don't like what's gonna happen. Should we go through this? And he was just like, I understand if we don't go through it. It was kind of like more of a mutual thing, or knew that it was probably a possibility that they weren't gonna go through with it. And then he's acting up like it was news that he's never heard, and he was so heartbroken.
The tears he drummed up, I was like, put on a hell of a performance, man.
And she said that there was a lot of more like rowdiness that wasn't even shown, and shadiness from his family that wasn't even made the cut. And she was like, it was just not, good. And she was kind of throwing shade about his
very
beliefs.
Very directly. Like she was
like, I'm not gonna talk on his personal beliefs, but let's just say my friends are diverse. I have Muslim friends. I have this friends.
Gay friends.
I'm fine. Me and Brittany are good friends. Like,
one thing about these shows in the later seasons that sucks but is good. I mean, ultimately, is that they do protect a lot of the people on the show from the kind of scrutiny that they could possibly get. They lessen the blow and keep it relationship as opposed to your belief system. Because
other than that one guy,
there's 2 or 3 of them that were on that season that the world would have killed if what they really felt came out. Like there was that 2 guys on there were homophobic, and the other guy was like mildly racist or something like that. And they kind of protected them because you've had so many of these shows, Love Island, where 7 different people have committed suicide
Are you serious?
from being on the show.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the hatred, like
Either
the
because of
backfire?
hatred. So there was like Muggy Mike, for example. He got that nickname because he was just being a dog in the house. Like, really good looking guy, had the girls wrapped around his finger, but would just be a dick. Just nonstop. He'd lead a girl on, move on to the next one, lead a girl on, move on to the next one. So he got the nickname in the house, Muggy Mike. And it translated to outside world. People calling him Muggy Mike everywhere he goes. And Muggy out there is
In the
like not a
UK.
good thing.
Yeah.
Like you're a dickhead, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he apparently
Eventually
committed
got-
suicide. It eventually got to him. There was this Roberta Flack was the host of the show. She got some accusations, some sexual assault accusations. And all the fans of the show turned on her because she was like the best host. Everybody loved her. The Flack is back. She had her own slogan. They turned on her and she couldn't take it. Committed suicide.
Wow.
And that's why Maya Jama is the host now.
Wow.
And so like there's been 3, 4, 5, 6 probably suicides that have been on that
That's
show.
insane.
Of different,
But all from
especially a
like
lot of
UK,
women.
right?
Yeah.
That was the UK
all
one?
the UK,
Okay.
yeah. All the UK
That's
one.
very interesting.
But I think there was 1 or 2 from
The Estates.
Love is Blind as
Oh.
well in the early seasons. So I'm like,
I don't
this
know.
is-
But have you heard about Love is Blind, Argentina, and Brazil?
well, we saw Montoya. Oh no, that was Temptation Island. I haven't seen
No, have you
Love is
heard-
Blind Brazil. No.
Okay, so one person, I don't know which one is on which show. One of them was openly like said during the reunion that her man, who she was tied up with, was sexually assaulting her. And they didn't do anything. Apparently it was happening during the season and all
God
that other
damn.
stuff. And then eventually they kicked him off of the stage, but they never really reprimanded him. And then another one, maybe this was the Brazil or I don't know, one of those. It was both those 2 seasons. Crazy people. The next one, he went and he killed his wife. He did like I think he either did a murder suicide or
Like
just
the
like
Love
a
is
homicide.
Blind one?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This music is wild.
I don't even know how I came across it. It just randomly popped up and they're like, oh, the Brazil and Argentina and da-da-da. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, because this,
God
I don't know about this from the US one.
God damn, nah, that's serious.
No,
Yeah,
it was really insane. So they were like, you need to vet these people a little bit better
Yeah.
because there was obviously,
Well, they have to go
Issues.
through psychological evaluation now.
yeah,
Which
not
sucks.
good enough.
This is what I was saying. It sucks. You don't get that juiciness, baby.
I mean, not enough though. Like some of these people
Still unhinged.
I'm like, you can't be serious.
And that was my problem with Pop the Balloon Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Pop the Balloon Netflix premiered this week.
Yeah.
And I mean, the show started from YouTube. It's a dating show where essentially a person walks up to a row of like 7 or 8 people. And even if you don't like their looks right off top, you can just pop your balloon and show you're not interested before they even say a word. Which to me is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Pop the Balloon Netflix was, first of all, live. Horrible idea. Okay. Studio audience. Horrible idea.
Because they're trying harder.
Trying harder. And 3, all good, conventionally good looking people. Some of which we already know from other reality shows, right?
Yeah.
That could add an element that could be enjoyable. I just felt like they approached it wrong. So essentially, they had 4 women on either side of Yvonne or Ujiri. Ujiri. They had 4 women on either side of them, and then the guy comes out from the back, and their backs are turned. That's the first thing that I was like, no, because walking up and Pop the Balloon on YouTube, you walk up.
And you'll see
You don't
them
even
front
see.
on. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even see the guy yet.
Yeah.
They see the guy.
Yeah.
And you just hear pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop. So you know he's about to be beat, and then the reveal, he comes and stands there. You're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like for me, using conventionally good-looking people does not leave room for that, right? Then you had all these fuckers trying to be a star. Everybody a comedian. Everybody wants to clip farm. They were just dissing people for the sake of it, and half of it didn't make sense. There was this one white guy came out there. This was a black girl. I think her name was Sheila.
No.
Sandra?
I don't know.
What was her name? She was wearing the blue.
Yeah.
She was tall, and she was on the right. The most annoying. Yo, she would try to be funny, every single person out there, without ever actually trying to like invest in the actual dating.
Everything that
of
she
the
was
game.
saying was stupid.
And
she
it was
like,
all dumb.
What did she say? She wanted somebody who looked like they could murder someone.
No,
or something
she
like
said,
that. Or
a white guy came out. She's like, no, he looked like he murdered people. And Yvonne was like, okay, like.
But
what
then
is
she
that?
said like
What
the
about him look
opposite of what she wanted after. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
She called him a murder. She said he looked like he murdered people. Then when they went around to everybody at the end, she's like, he just looked too wholesome. I'm like, how does he look like a wholesome murderer?
Yeah.
You're just clip farming. It's so annoying, bro. Put regular people on there. Regular, everyday people.
The first guy was Johnny
Bananas.
Yeah.
Once I saw him on there, I physically got angry.
Because he's done a lot of things, right?
He's been on the challenge for fucking 20 years or some shit. He's been on the challenge forever.
That's why they were making
And
fun of him.
he's so annoying. He always wants to be the center of attention. His jokes suck balls.
Yeah.
And he's racist. That boy looked at that black woman and said, "You look like you hang upside down from a tree." He said, "You look like you sleep upside down in a tree."
Yeah. He didn't give good vibes. I'm happy that most people popped with him right away, like instantly.
Yo, and it's not enjoyable when Yvonne's trying to host the show.
Yeah.
And these fuckers are just talking over her while she's trying to. It's a live show. Shut up.
See, that's the difference between everything, because when they are on Pop the Balloon, they don't all have mics. It's only the two people. So you can hear some little chatter, but it's nothing like crazy.
Exactly.
And so everybody's mic was on.
But like this, your Netflix, turn off people's mics that shouldn't be speaking.
Yeah.
I don't think that's rocket science. Like, turn off the mics of people. All you heard was mad over talking.
Sheila Dia?
Is that her name?
I think so.
I knew it was Sheila.
It's coming up, but it's no picture. So yeah, Sheila Dia. She was definitely annoying.
I want regular people on this show.
So this is what I got from it, from Yvonne, is that for the first episode, they were having the pop stars, she called them, because they were former Netflix stars and they're utilizing the talent that they have.
Okay.
I think going forward, it's not going to just be the pop stars.
Are you sure? Because they had like, what's his name from
they had Chase,
they had Ultimatum people in there.
No, I know, but I don't think it's going to be like every episode. I don't think it's going to be all.
Yeah. I hope not.
I don't
think for
so.
their sake, because it's not going to last.
At the end of the day, it is live.
Yeah.
So they're able to see all these reactions and they're able to adjust as they go. So that is a benefit of it. They didn't already pre-record everything, so they can change it up.
And listen, they might have finessed Netflix in the greatest way, to be honest. Because if you hated that Netflix version, you're going straight back to the YouTube.
Yeah.
And it reinforces that their product is
the better one. Yep.
Which is kind of hard. Like, from a marketing perspective, that's kind of hard. I can't lie.
Arlette and BM get to keep their Pop the Balloon or Find Love. That's what it's trademarked for YouTube.
Yeah.
And they get to keep that as is. And then Pop the Balloon
Their
Live
EPs
is
on both
like,
of them.
they got a percentage to take the concept and I guess
That's
executive
so hard,
produce it.
man.
So that's good for them that they get to, and now they don't have to be the face of it and get all the scrutiny
That's
about
what I'm saying. I was like, that's the smart thing. Is like, she could have been ego driven and
she should have hosted.
She could have been ego driven and done that, but like, I think it's wiser to just step back and you know what I mean?
But honestly, they probably didn't want that, right? They're probably like, okay, let's get somebody who's a star that we have already signed potentially.
Exactly.
Because didn't she do her comedy special with them too?
I'm not too sure.
But or it could have been her. who reached out to.
They're both Nigerian.
Yeah, she could have reached out to BM and Arlette and been like, "Hey, I want to get this on some type of network."
Pitched
or
it for
program.
them. Yeah,
and she got it, and that's why she's the host. And then,
I mean,
who knows?
Regardless, they fucked up. Y'all fucked up, and y'all gotta fix it because it's about to tank really hard. You had an opportunity for a lot of virality, I feel like, with this show on such a larger platform.
But that's the problem, that each individual person was trying to go for
Chasing
virality, and then it didn't even work.
This is why you need desperate, real people.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sitting here. I don't know a lot about Chase. I know he was considered the bad guy, whatever.
Oh, he was horrible.
Yeah, and I don't know how much he's changed.
A lot.
Yeah,
I heard him speak. I was like,
he's changed a lot. Yeah.
I don't even recognize this guy. Like, he was so like bubbly. Before, he was like sinister and everything is a game and I have to win by at all costs.
Yeah.
And I'll do whatever I need.
He's a lot more lighthearted.
Yeah.
He looked friendly. He spoke well.
Getting punched in the mouth will do that.
Yeah, he's a boxer. I think he had a kid as well, so maybe like that kind of changed him as well.
I did not know he had a kid. He doesn't post a kid.
I think he did at the beginning.
I swore he was engaged like 2 months ago because I accidentally stumbled on his page.
Yeah.
Click. I thought it was a boxing, like a real boxer or whatever. And I went on his page. I'm like,
no, he is a real boxer now.
He is, but I'm like, Chase? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he looks different. His whole body composition has changed. His face is skinnier.
Yeah.
And hearing him speak on the show, I was like, wow, he's done a lot
and
of
every
work.
girl just like popped. They didn't even let it. I don't know. I just felt like they weren't even letting him talk and get it off. And I'm like, that's what I'm really surprised about, because he looks good. He looks poised. There was that one homegirl. Yeah, there was that one girl that says, when Johnny came out, white girl, she was like, I like black men. That's my preference.
Bro, when she said that, my jaw dropped.
I was like,
did she just say that on Netflix?
Yeah.
She's like, my preference is black. And I was like, blonde white girl too.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde white girl bottle service. I was like, come to King Street.
Not only does she have a type, but she's got a category too.
You're like, right? Ebony? BBC all in her searches. Black.
Yeah. So
but
I was very surprised about that.
I wasn't surprised. You know why?
Why?
Because women, I won't say women, some women, especially the ones on that stage,
people,
they were birds. A lot of them, if you noticed, were doing things because other girls did it.
Yeah. Some of them were just popping because they seen the other person was like, oh, I don't really like your outfit. And then all of a sudden, pop. Yeah, I don't like your outfit either. Or, oh, you're like short kings, whatever. Pop.
There was one girl who was like,
okay.
I didn't pop it because you could change your shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, logic.
Yeah.
Like, there it is.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't pop it because you could change your shirt. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I think with Chase, one thing that must have turned off a lot of people is when he said he's more of a traditional person and he wants his like laundry done. I think that was the one where everybody.
But he even modified that because he's like, I cook, I clean, I just want clean clothes for the gym.
Yeah.
So he's literally saying that's all you'd have to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay bills. I do all the bills. I have a cleaner.
My laundry in your laundry. Yeah.
He's like, I got a cleaner. Like, she could take care of that. Like, I just want fresh clothes for the gym because I sweat every day and I need fresh clothes for the gym at all times.
And I think that's what they heard, and they were just like, he wants me to just do their laundry.
Sounds dumb as hell. All girls screaming soft girl era. There it is.
Just do the laundry.
A man laid it up off the backboard. All you gotta do is do the laundry.
That's why I was very surprised. He seemed, when he was speaking and had everything, I thought that he was gonna get a match. Especially because he was near the end, right?
Yeah.
After everything that was going on, I'm like, I feel like somebody's gonna match.
Listen.
The one with no matches.
Old Chase would have been like, are you guys stupid?
Yeah.
Like, he's changed a lot because
he was just like, okay.
He's just like, all right, cool. I understand completely, blah, blah, blah. I was like, nigga, you what?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, dog. But yeah, no, that show, it'll tank if they don't get real people on there, man. Real people who desperately need love. Some of them have to have kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes the show good.
That one girl that had the 5 kids, all under 8.
Oh.
And she made it to the end.
Yes.
And he was trying to like ask about how many baby daddies, and she was trying to curve
it.
And her kids got brought up multiple times. She made it to the end twice or nearly to the end twice. But once the kids and they found out, because they were 11 months to 8 years old, all 5 kids. It was so funny.
This show could only work in this time now.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Because it's a reflection of how the dating pool really is. People have been convinced through social media rants and TikTok videos that there's a person out there that has everything they want and they can find them. When that's not the case. That's not the case. You will have to compromise. And this show is a big reflection on why so many people, why we're in a loneliness epidemic. Because people are looking at a nigga's shirt and saying, Pop, I don't want to get to know you.
I don't like your pants. That's the craziest thing to me is when they're doing like the clothes. I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't like the outfit either, but you don't even know. Could you at least wait until, you know, he says what his non-negotiables are or something?
Yeah.
And I hate that. Have you seen the older ones? The ones with the older people?
Yes.
So Arlette did it maybe twice.
I seen the one with the BBL, and she said she didn't have a BBL.
Oh, yeah.
The most obvious
that
BBL.
I seen that one. I remember that. Yeah, it was so obvious.
There was this one guy. That one, I was just like, I feel bad. There was this one guy who came out. He was like a teddy bear. Everybody was saying it.
Yeah.
He was so bubbly and happy, and he was complimenting everybody.
They killed his spirit.
And they were just like, at the end of the day, he never got matched. He's a hardworking, regular man. He loves his dog.
No kids.
He like no kids. Waiting to spoil his future wife. He's in his, I think, early 40s or something like that. I'm just like, why? None of y'all came up here for what? You guys are in your 40s and 50s now.
Do remember Love Connection back in the day? I don't know if you guys remember that term.
That's what they said. Pop the Balloon was like Love Connection.
Yeah.
But the difference between Love Connection and Pop the Balloon is the element of surprise. You didn't actually get to see the people's faces. So that surface level.
Contestant number one.
You know?
If I blah, blah, blah.
So like it created a lore like, you know what? I think I'd like you beyond, you know, what I would see on the surface. And then the reveal was where they were like, this may not work, but
that show wouldn't work now.
That wouldn't work now.
Because a nigga just says one thing they don't like and they are completely off of it. And they will write off every guy if they think that the women watching are gonna rate them. Women have turned into niggas. I don't know if y'all are seeing it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Women are denying men based on what they feel like other women would deny. And they want to look cool to other women. It's getting crazy out here. I think it's so wild. Yo, we're all about to be so lonely, man. Well, not all of us, but a lot of people are about to be lonely, bro, because you guys will not let someone in. It's so crazy, man. It's so wild. That show,
They want perfect.
it's not
It
out
don't
there.
exist.
It's not out
It
there.
don't exist.
You got to compromise in some part.
Unrealistic standards.
Unrealistic. If you were to find the perfect person, would you even believe it?
No.
It's like, would you even believe it?
No.
Half the time, half your life, you're going to be like, wait for that shoe to drop, man.
Because there's always something.
The shoe gotta drop. There's gotta be
But
something.
it doesn't have to be a major thing. I think that's where a lot of people don't get it. You can have some type of boundaries. You can have some type of preference. Not everything is going to be.
What are your
check it.
non-negotiables?
My non-negotiables.
Moving forward. She's like, when I was 18?
Now?
Like how have your non-negotiables evolved over time? Is really what we're trying to get
There
to.
you go.
We're
Me and Norma are opening a therapy service.
Yeah.
Why are you making this so spicy, man?
My non-negotiables. You have to
Not work with pipes. I'm joking.
Jeez.
You know she was thinking it.
No, I wasn't.
You gotta be able to lay the pipe without laying the pipe.
No, I was gonna say my non-negotiables is it comes down to a lot of previous things. So
You could have just easily said
having
you gotta be just
life-
as tall as me.
Yeah, but like those are superficial. Like
Yeah,
I would
right,
like somebody as at least as tall as me because don't think I'm into this
Tall
hurricane.
queen.
Sorry, guys. But somebody who has like previously lived on their own. I'm talking about completely on their own, no roommates, not in a previous relationship, not with your family, not with your, just live on your own.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm going to would look for in the future.
Okay.
I don't know how much I want to say right now.
No, it's not bad.
Plead the fifth. All right.
But I think that's good enough for now. That's one thing you know for sure.
I want somebody actually who is who has gone to therapy and is willing to continue to go to therapy, you know, and not like shun it or you know, isn't
Afraid to
really
indulge.
for it. Yeah, somebody who's already been through that. Because then somebody who has experienced a variety of things. Like, I feel like the only way somebody's going to understand me is if they've also gone through a variety of life experience.
You've got to be well traveled.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
At this juncture in my life, I would have to say you have to be chill and like
Understanding.
you have to just know yourself.
Okay.
You know? If you don't know yourself and you haven't like settled with who you are and you're still searching, I'm like, I can't do that. Like
40 still searching.
I don't.
That's crazy.
You should be content in who you are, what you have. Like, just maybe
Secure as a
accept
person.
it.
I think the word I would say,
No.
I want to know that they've landed. You know, like they've landed in the spot and they know where they've landed. They know
Have
where
you
they
landed?
stay. No.
Okay.
So then why do
And
you
I-
want somebody else that has landed?
So they don't have
You
to worry about me.
Mm.
Because worry about yourself. I'm worrying about me.
Yeah,
They're gonna automatically worry about you. You know.
They're
that,
gonna-
right?
they're women.
They
Yeah.
love you.
They do. They do. But yeah, I think it just comes from a place of just because my comedy career is so up in the air. Who knows where it's going at this point in my life?
Yeah.
That's
and
why
then-
I'd be afraid to be with somebody who's landed.
Well, no, I want somebody that I used to be like, oh man, you know, if they're good and I'm not, I don't want to be in that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, no, I need you to be good so that I don't have to worry so much. You know, I used to worry a lot, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to have to worry about somebody when I have to worry about.
So
myself.
you don't work on yourself if you have somebody else that has also not landed. Essentially, you just pour too much into that person and not enough into yourself.
Yeah,
and then nobody lands.
Yeah, exactly. I do have the tendency to, you know, try and help when I should be helping myself. And it's like somebody that's already landed will be like, yo, don't worry about me. Do you?
Yeah.
You know?
But don't you also feel like if you guys are both still on these paths of
Finding
whatever,
each other. Yeah.
then wouldn't you guys be more motivated to explore different things, like
Yeah.
different ways?
You'd
There'd be
think-
more- I feel like
I
there'd
don't
be
know.
more
No, I'm sure.
understanding.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
there'd be
don't
more
know.
understanding
I just
from
feel like
somebody
if,
like that.
if it's like one person who is well established, has everything, then there's more of a routine, and they're like, oh, I did that before. Oh, I already did that, and they're not as excited and not as curious to go and try new life adventures, right?
I'd feel like a
I don't know.
burden.
And
Like-
but then I also think that they might be over controlling now because they've already been there. So maybe they're like, oh, I can show you the way. And then maybe that's when you're like, oh, don't worry about me.
I guess, yeah,
know?
I guess it depends on the type of person that's landed. If it's a type of person that's landed and found themselves and is secure in themselves to the point at which they can offer help without a detriment to themselves, then I think that's what you're kind of talking about, as opposed to someone that would have to put their life on halt to also make sure you guys are both equally yoked and
Yeah.
balanced and all that shit.
You know, in layman's terms, I would look at it like, you know, like you just want that woman that's just like already set in her way. She already knows what she wants. So it's just like, you don't got to beat around the bush. She's like, I've been there. I've done that. I'm
Yeah.
sick and tired of like, you know, dilly-dallying
That's-
around what
yeah,
I
yeah,
want.
yeah,
this is
yeah.
what I want. I'm like, you know what you want? Thank God. All right. I
Okay,
could, you
got
know.
you.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm still trying to find myself and, you know, we'll see where we go from there, because I've been in a place where, you know, we're both trying to find where we land and where we're going. And sometimes as nice as it is that we're on this journey together, sometimes where they land may not be where you want to land, and it's just like
I hate being the first batch of men to express feelings. This is the worst. Why can't I be third gen man? Like, we are first gen man feelings. It's the worst. I feel like a bitch. Like, honestly, I do. Like, if me and my girl get into arguments about something, I feel like she's not listening to something I'm saying, or even an apology. Like, there's been times where I'm like,
you don't feel heard.
Exactly.
It's okay,
and you
Marlon.
can't say that
It's
without
okay.
feeling like a bitch. In my mind, I can't say it. And I'm like, she gotta be thinking I'm a bitch in this moment. Like, that's how I be thinking. I'm like, oh, do you call that an apology? And in my head, I'm like, you a bitch.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, you're acting like a bitch right now because what, she didn't apologize correctly. But it's
I feel
valid if this is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just weird saying it.
Yeah.
And getting used to saying shit like that, like standing up for yourself in those little moments, feels weird as a man.
Yeah.
Because it feels like this is your territory. I shouldn't be complaining about these little.
But I get it. But then you guys hold resentment, and then that's when stuff just goes
You know what I
down the
mean?
drain.
Yeah.
If I don't say it, it's over.
Yeah.
Once I stop saying shit,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, that's like a lot of women, though.
Once I stop saying shit, that's
See,
when
she
you
said
know-
that's kind of like a lot of women, though.
Yeah.
See? She called me a bitch already.
Oh shit!
She's like, yeah, that sound like a bitch.
I'm not saying that. A lot of women do
Accept
that.
your divine femininity, you know.
Because that's
Yeah.
what they say. Like, once we mentally check out, then it's like, no matter what you do, it's kind of over now, you know?
Y'all break
Whereas
up.
have most likely.
Y'all break up
closed.
6 months before the actual moment you break up.
I can't
Yeah,
stand it.
mentally.
Yeah, no, I can't stand it. That's the
and
difference.
emotional. Yeah.
Women can stay in there for another 3 months.
Yeah.
Mentally checked out.
Yeah,
I can't do
Because
it.
I feel like we have to make sure
Can't
that
last a week.
we got to make sure that this is the decision that we're making and it's the right decision.
Oh,
But
okay.
obviously, other things play.
I thought you guys were
part.
making sure you had another job before you quit this one.
Another man.
See what I'm saying? Gotta hand out the resumes, put out a bunch of feelers. Do I
Yeah.
still got it?
Yeah. You want to.
Still got it?
You don't
Should I even dip my toe in these waters?
Can I still get EI?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
if I
you
get
get
no
half the man
EI.
I was for about a couple weeks.
I'm sure there are some people who just want to do that, like Stella got your groove back. So
Oh
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
Move on
I
to
feel-
the next thing. But
Are you on
nothing,
EI right
super
now?
quick. No.
I'm just joking.
I feel for people who have never had a partner outside of like the one person they've been with, especially like high school. If you've been
yeah.
with someone from high school or even college to late
Yeah.
20s,
From like early 20s.
I feel
mid,
bad for
late,
you, bro.
Early 30s.
you got to feel stuck at a certain point.
Yeah.
And the pressure of like keeping up this high school romance. Not everybody gets this. You hear people talk about it all the time. It's like, am I really giving this up? Like, how many times do people stay with someone because of their family or friends?
Twice. That's how many times.
Okay. Were you afraid of the repercussion, or were you afraid of just having that discussion?
Just loyal to a fault. Loyal to the fact that,
right?
oh man, we went this far. Got to keep it going.
What do they call it again?
You know?
We looked this up.
But how old?
Was it?
Sunken cost fallacy.
We bring that up every
fallacy.
couple months
Yeah.
on here.
What phase of your life was that? Like, what age?
That was
Multiple phases.
I would say that was 20s and then 30s. So, because they were both, you know,
Matter of fact, when I was 8.
it was a 9-year bid, then a 12-year bid. So,
Yeah. So
Yeah, see, when does the pressure set in? What year?
5. It's usually 5.
Year 5, right?
Year 5.
Yeah, I'm feeling that year 5 pressure right now.
5 is always the year, dude. It was always the year. That was the breakup point in both times. It was 5. And then I went back. The second time I went back, I was
spun
like,
that block.
Why is it year 5? Year 1, honeymoon. Everything's blessed. Year,
Year
2,
2, repeat.
little depends. Depends, because I was in we were in the pandemic for me. So like,
Well, see, that's pandemic.
you see what I'm saying? We didn't have like the normal time that people would have with each other. We kind of had more.
Yeah.
So it was like it kind of sped things
You skipped
up.
to 3.
Yeah, it's like watching one of those reality shows where they're on there for a month and it
Yeah.
feels like they've been together for 2 years. Like it was like that. So it's like through the pandemic, we saw each other like every day almost. And so it wasn't like a normal 1-2 year where it's
Right,
like,
right.
okay, you're not seeing each other as often, so we're not gonna argue. We're not gonna waste time arguing when we see each other.
Yeah.
Let's have sex. So it's like,
This is year 2. We can't be arguing year 2.
Exactly.
But now y'all living together.
I was living together.
You know what I'm
year
saying?
two.
Year two
we're
living together. That's normally you move in year 4.
Yeah, no.
And then
this
year 5 comes
special
in. That's when
circumstances,
people.
obviously the world is in disarray.
Yes.
Well, talking about sped up, mine was accelerated. So-
Accelerated.
At an exponential rate.
Yours was
Client.
definitely accelerated.
Yours
We're
was
talking about Goldie
very
Cox.
slow.
We're introducing Goldie Cox on the pod 2 weeks later. You're pregnant.
Exponentially. Exclamation on the X.
No, but I was going to say in regards to that high school sweetheart thing, I think it's sometimes easier or bound to happen that after the 20s, early 30s is when people start finding themselves again, and then that's when they go in divorce.
Exactly.
And I kind of feel like sometimes it is easier for them to just part ways more like
And see if they come back to each other.
amicably.
Yeah.
And there's not as much pressure to stay with them compared to when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
You haven't found that person that you're not like, especially particularly women.
Women especially.
You're not married. You don't have no kids.
You're
like you
geriatric
aren't
pregnancy
in
age.
a long-term relationship. That's when the pressure starts happening, and so you do speed through partners a little bit more because you're like, I don't have time to waste. But that's because there's pressure.
Yeah.
And so you're in that pot.
Biological
okay,
pressure.
I don't want to have to like sit here and deal with this. I'm a cut, or maybe I'll just wait it out and see, and something will change.
That's
and then
tough.
so I feel like 30s for women
That's
is
tough.
the pressure spot.
Yeah.
I
no,
don't
that's
think
tough.
20s. I think
I would hate to be the man that's in a woman that's like being sought out during a woman's, that period, because
Yeah.
it's just like they're almost considering you as a result of pressure and like where they're at in their life. And it's not
Yeah.
like a full, I really want you. It's like, this is what I have left.
But you
know?
see, those external influences exist at every age.
That
It's
is
just
true.
different
It's just
for
different.
every age, I feel like.
Yeah.
And for every gender and race and culture. Like, there's so many external pressures. Like, even, especially if you're a woman in your late 30s, imagine going home for the holidays, childless, no man. Like,
All the
your
comments?
parents and the family.
especially if you have like a more traditional
Oh,
older
yeah.
family. If you
Big
have like one of
family
those
too?
progressive ones where they have the cool aunties and they understand what's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other
You
ones
need
that
that
have
one
big
rich
families,
auntie that has never had a child, doesn't plan on it, travels all the time to stick up for you. 'Cause
Yeah.
the rest of them, families are not. They're not thinking they're doing any harm in pushing you towards a family and love and a relationship, because for them it worked out, and for this person it worked out, and blah blah blah. They're not caring how this is making you feel when they're asking you. Like,
Yeah.
so when is it gonna happen, man?
Yeah.
Getting up there. In your head, you're like, yo, I just came for food. I just came for food. Not an existential
I just came
crisis.
because my mom wanted me to. Like,
Please don't make me question my life decisions right
Oxtail
now.
with
I
a
just-
side of existential crisis. Oh man, I took my girl to Winners on the weekend, and that is the equivalent to taking a child to the park.
Oh, I was gonna be like, is that when you realized you were the loser? What's
Losing
winners
my
the other
money.
day? I
oh,
was like,
you should take her. There's one in Mississauga that's Winners and Home Sense
Absolutely.
together.
Why are you saying this? We're bleeping that out.
Yeah. It's Winners and Home Sense. It's okay. She already DM'd me about my dining room
damn it.
chairs. And she said, oh my gosh, I like your chairs. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're from Structube. And she's like, send to Marlin.
It must be live, love, laugh all around my fucking house.
I hate
Yo,
that.
bringing a girl
So
shopping, it's so much like bringing a kid to the park. You gotta constantly be like, yo, put that down.
Yeah,
Put that down. She's bringing you
Especially
shit to spoil
in-
every
It's the Toys
5
R Us
seconds.
of a
in
homeowner.
those
Yeah.
spots,
Oh,
you know,
man.
those ones, you just
Yeah.
be collecting things. I go into Home Sense, I'm just collecting things that I didn't even know I wanted or needed or anything like that. I was like, oh, that would look cute over there. Oh, I think I need this bench. Oh, I think I need an accent chair. I need a candle holder.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's
Hold on. We
collect
have a
and
call
select.
coming in.
Uh-oh.
Hello? You're on mic, man. What's going on?
Yo, tell James to put the Max B voice on me, all right? I want to sound like
Oh shit!
You got Moody Curtis, man. We can't put no Max
Yeah.
B on you, man. We don't want that type of wavy in here.
Do calling in, doing a collect call
wavy right now, bro.
from
It's
jail.
different kinda- I'm behind bars right now, man. I'm fighting.
Okay.
feeling
Okay,
loopy.
Tori.
Send a kite.
Home soon, man. I want to check in with my peoples. Put some money in my books.
Yo, I'm gonna flip you a kite in a few hours, bro.
He's gonna flip you a kite in a few hours. I don't know what that means.
Check the
but-
canteen. You be good, son.
Thank you, beloved.
Thank you, beloved. My word, beloved. My heart.
Quick, but thank you, my heart. But I had to, it was on my spirit, bro. I had to check in with you, bro.
Yo, New York slang be so gay, man. Thank you, my heart. Yeah, that's my man's right there. That's my man's in them.
I won.
Right, daddy.
But I hope you feel better, man. Get better soon. We miss you here.
bro.
Obviously,
Yeah, that's
Norm's back.
Yeah, man.
He misses you.
Welcome back.
Respect. Well, I got a t-shirt for you when you get back.
Say no more, man.
Watch out. Keep the booty credits safe.
All right,
That's gonna be the
I don't think
t-shirt.
that's possible.
Bye, bro.
All right, yo, later. He getting sick.
Free Duke, y'all. Free Duke.
Free Dookie.
Free Duke from the
Dookie.
Dookie.
Dookie from the Dookie.
Free Dookie.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. A reality show that you need to watch or a competition show.
Why did Doodoo just remind you of this?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
It's like, Doodoo, wait. That reminds me.
There was no doo-doo involved, I promise. The $1 Million Secret or $1 Million on Netflix.
I read the write-up of it. And I was like,
Yes.
this looks interesting.
I was like locked in.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh!
Wait.
Especially during like from the beginning, I was just really locked in. I really like it. It's and I tried to find other ones that are kind of like it. I guess Traders, which has been really popular.
Yo, it's
Is
the
that the
number
one where they
reality
ask-
show right
Yeah.
now?
Is that the one where they ask like a really hard question and they gotta answer yes or no if it's real or not?
I haven't watched the show.
Are you a
I haven't
millionaire?
watched it
No.
No.
yet. You mean Jeopardy?
No, I don't know what show it was, but
Jeopardy?
but they asked this chick if her father was a sexual predator or something like that,
Whoa.
and she had to like say
No,
if it
no,
was
no,
real
no.
or
That
not.
was the lie.
You remember that show back in the day, the truth detector, the lie detector?
I think that was the one.
Yeah, it's
That
an
show
old.
was
That one was an
crazy.
old one. This one is
Yeah.
a new one on Netflix.
Okay.
And so what happens is they have X amount of people. I don't remember how many. Maybe like 12, right?
Okay.
People who are coming to the house, and you're gonna live there for however long. You all get this box with a key. Well, you don't get. Yeah, you get the key or whatever. But each box has a wolf head, I don't know, deer head, whatever
Lamb's
these
skin condom.
whatever.
Yeah, random shit. Random shit.
And so you go to your room, your individual room, and you have to open your box. And when you open that box, you could be a millionaire. There could be $1 million in your box, right? Only one person is going to have it.
Yeah.
And now your goal is to try to keep the $1 million without getting caught and kicked off the show. So you don't tell anybody that you have the $1 million. You have to act like
Ooh.
nothing.
It's mafia.
It's like mafia. I was just
Yeah.
about to say that's mafia.
You have
for
to-
$1
money.
million.
You have to act like nothing is going on, that you're like chill.
Mafia with $1 million is good. I
And
just
then-
don't like reality shows where the premise is lying.
Oh yeah, it's all about lies.
I
It's all
hate
about
it.
like the best lying.
It
And-
makes me so sad.
And then they have these like agendas. So it'll be the millionaire. By the time the activity is done or by the time they do the voting, the millionaire has to
Make somebody do something?
one of them was make them switch seats with you. You have to have
this
you
is
have to get 3
hard.
people to switch seats with you without them knowing, right? Another one
This is
was
mafia with impractical jokers.
Another one was like use song lyrics, like of one art, specific song lyrics. They'll give you the song lyrics, and they're like, you have to use that in a sentence.
Where have I seen this on a show before? This premise of like you have to do something in secret. Oh, Love Island. They
Was
actually
it?
do this a lot on Love Island, where it's like they'll have, because they get bored there.
Yeah, obviously.
If they can make somebody say something a certain amount of times,
Yeah.
and do something a certain amount of times, they'll get a party.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
essentially the same
Okay,
thing,
yeah.
but with $1 million fucking dollars.
Yeah,
Little
so-
side missions.
Yeah.
So if you were able to complete your agenda, then that means you're going to get some type of benefit. And as it progresses, the benefit grows, right? So first one might
Now you got
be
Squid Games in there too. now?
whoever you vote for to be out, you'll get an extra double person. So if you vote for Marlon, you're 2 against Marlon. So that will raise a person. But as it continues to go, then it comes down to whoever's a millionaire. If you complete your agenda, you get a kill shot. So whoever you vote for is automatically gone, no matter how many people voted for another. So they could have been like, okay, everybody voted for Marlon, but I said Norm would be out, Marlon would still be in, but everybody wanted Marlon out.
Yeah.
What would? Oh, so you can give immunity. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can
What
get
would
immunity
be-
for yourself.
Wow.
You can get,
What's the final number of people?
3 in the last episode.
Holy
It's
shit.
3.
Yo, trying to win with 3 people and 2 of them are like, listen,
Yeah.
I for sure don't.
Yeah.
How do you believe it though?
Yeah.
Everybody at the end of it, it's just like you know somebody has it.
Spider-Man.
Everybody is lying.
Oh, that's hard. No, I'm gonna check this out. I'm
And
gonna check this
then-
out.
The only person that
What's it
knows he's
called?
not lying is them.
Million Dollar
$1 Million
Secret?
Secret, yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yes. And then they go and they add other elements where maybe a random person who's not even a millionaire now has an agenda as well. And that agenda could save them from getting kicked off. Or there's clues. If you can win the activity, you'll have teams. If you win the activity, your team will get to go down to it was kind of like Perfect Match. You get to go to that like
Special
room,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You go to the trophy room. That's what they call it, trophy room. And then you dedicate one person to be able to get the clue, and they'll get a clue that hints to
Somebody else.
who the millionaire is.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Something that you might not even know
See,
at all.
this is Mafia on an ultimate level.
Yeah,
I
It
like
was so
I
it
like
was so good. Like the last
Is there a
couple
good host?
episodes as well. Yeah, he's this British guy.
Okay.
Um
That's key
Yeah,
these days
British
for
guy.
me with a reality show.
Yeah, because this
I
is
need
like a
good host.
mansion. So it's like it's his house. He invites them all to the mansion. And he's in suits. He's in like drinking high-end liquor.
Yeah.
Like it's very rich. He gets them to do different like shooting games. Has the dogs coming after them. Just a variety of things. It is so.
I'm gonna check it
freaking
out.
Good.
I'm gonna check it
Now,
out.
now, if you weren't the millionaire and you made it to the end,
Yeah.
do you win the million?
No, so whoever you have to watch. I don't want to share how they decide who
Yeah,
gets the
yeah,
million,
yeah.
but there is one person that will get the $1 million. And so at first, the first few episodes, I feel like everybody was trying to not have the $1 million because then you have to lie a lot, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to like act up. They don't want to start sweating.
So wait,
like,
when
whatever.
one person gets eliminated that has $1 million, does it go to another person? Like say
Yeah.
early in the game.
Yeah, so if you found, because every day or episode or whatever, they'll go and huddle around the table. They'll talk out loud who they think the millionaire could be, their strategy. Some people share.
Sick.
And then you go and you like write on your paper, you vote for whoever the person is, who you think. Usually you're supposed to vote for the person that you think is a millionaire. Sometimes you're voting for people who might
are just
have a
the most
strong
cunning.
Yeah, you're like, this guy's gonna win for
strong
sure. We gotta
game,
vote
you
him
know?
off
And
right
so
away.
He's got
you
too
want
large of a
it.
click.
Yeah,
we gotta
yeah,
break
yeah.
that
Especially
click
if they
up.
have no clue who the millionaire
Yeah.
is, right? And
Damn, that's,
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
then
watch it for sure.
It's honestly
Gonna
so
take
good.
it in.
So good.
See, it's not always good to be the best because sometimes the lesser
Gotta
of the
play
two
middle of the road
will
when you're
find
on
a
a
way to throw
reality
you
show.
off.
Yeah.
man.
Unless it's like
It's
the challenge.
strategy.
The challenge is one of those shows where the alpha usually wins because it's predicated. Like even if you vote me, if I'm just the sickest here, you always have a chance to save yourself because it goes to a competition duel for the challenge. And so if you're just the sickest there, it doesn't matter how many times niggas vote you in. I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
But with other shows, you gotta play middle of the field. You cannot be out here winning every competition because if you miss one,
Yeah.
they on your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That immunity's gone, they on your ass.
Yeah.
Speaking of immunity, Vybz Kartel. World boss. I wish Duke was here.
That's why he's not here.
That's
That's why you didn't come, my nigga.
That's why he didn't come.
This is why you didn't pull
He knew
up.
what was
That's
up.
why he didn't come.
This is
That's
why
why he
Duke didn't pull
come.
up. I know it.
You scared, Dirk.
Dookie.
He was in the group chat trying to gaslight us too. Yo,
I said Scotiabank. I said Toronto. I said 2 shows. They're
Barclays.
like, he got 2 shows.
Barclays sold
I said
out.
Toronto.
And he showed the difference in
Capacity.
capacity. And it was 2,000 people. I'm like, nigga, shut up. 2 sold out shows back to back, Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
He did that.
17,000 plus people. That was the biggest 2 shows by a Jamaican outside of Sean Paul and Bob Marley.
And Bob Marley, I was gonna say.
That was honestly the biggest show.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was like, bro, like the more he does these media runs, these shows, it's like, bro, it makes you wonder what would have happened if this guy didn't go to jail, man.
Yeah.
Like what would
Or
think
he would have been dead.
significant changes for the country, not just like dance hall music and Vybz Kartel. For Jamaica, what would have happened if this guy was not locked up for 13 years in his prime of like life?
More death, more murder.
But to be
Or do you think
fair-
it would have been-
To be fair, the crime or being in prison might have made him more of a draw.
created
You know
more
what I mean?
allure.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
it definitely did. But to think that you had that type of star power before going in and it sustained and then grew is like, you got to think of how much more growth would have happened had he been out those 13 years. Remember, when he dropped Fever, he's in jail.
Yeah.
Vybz Kartel dropped Fever out of jail. And then
But
you got to
that's
think
the
about
thing, though,
Drake's
like when
run
you
in
think
that
about
time.
it, you think about Fever, you're like, okay, once you find out that he was in jail, that's more impressive, and that's like more
Yeah.
okay.
But
fuck with it, kind of.
a lot of people, I don't think, focused on how impressive, because he had dropped some bangers before that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone was really focused at that point specifically about like, oh, he's making this good music in jail. It was more so like, oh, another banger, like for the summer. Like, how's he keep churning these out without any
On an iPhone
inspiration,
5.
without,
On an iPhone,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Without being outside. So it's like, bro, when you think about Drake and when you think about the different artists, especially come from this city, like, we're not gonna act like Tory Lanez would have been on a Drake track. We're not gonna act like Drake wouldn't have had 6, 7 of those. They might have done a joint mixtape by now.
Yeah.
What a Time to Be Alive might have been Wagwan Time to Be Alive or some shit, whatever.
And if there was anybody to back Drake in this battle, if Tory came out, it'd be like, come on now. You can't. You want to?
And
I got
Jamaicans
another
don't
short
give a fuck
motherfucker here
who
that
you
can
are.
do you.
Jamaicans don't give a fuck who you are. They're
You
gonna
know?
rep who they rep.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
And so, I think about little things that have happened in those 13 years that I know Vybz himself would have attached to. Like, this guy could have been the MP of Jamaica by now, honestly. Remember, before he went to jail, there was a point where he and Movado had to have a press conference on the news to squash things so that violence in Jamaica could stop.
And settle down.
That is power, bro.
That's the Bloods and the Crips, gang meat. You know what I mean?
This is a true sign of impact and influence. When a small village in Africa is calling themselves Gaza and beefing with another small village called Gully, and they've never been to Jamaica, that's when you know, because usually it's like Tupac, Biggie you hear out there. Like you have African guys out there that literally call themselves Tupac and literally call themselves Biggie.
and Rihanna and Beyonce.
And Rihanna and Beyonce
Yeah.
and Bloods and Crips and shit. So like for a tiny island of like Jamaica to cross over in that regard, it's crazy.
Did you
I mean,
see
that is
his,
the impact of Jamaica everywhere.
Yes.
Little
Realistically.
island, big impact.
Yeah.
Did you see his interview where he said, I think it was with the Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
and they talked about Sean Paul,
Mhm.
and he was like, "It's no shade to Sean Paul at all, but." In Jamaica, and a lot of people didn't hear certain things that he said. If you see me in Jamaica, everybody would be over here with me. Sean Paul could be across the street and nobody's paying attention. That's because that's the influence that I have. He was like, I have not sold nearly as many records as Sean Paul.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
we gotta say Sean Paul is a great in his own right. But yeah, he was just like, there's just a difference in terms of like,
One's in the streets and one's not.
yeah, he got the numbers, the sales, but I have like the influence of
Yeah.
Sean Paul's the
especially
Snoop Dogg of
Jamaica.
The
Jamaica.
impact,
Yeah.
the cultural
Yeah,
impact.
Sean Paul's the Snoop Dogg of Jamaica.
likable, across the
Likeable.
board.
Everybody knows him. Everybody knows his hits, his longevity. He's had hits from the 90s
had a lot,
to the
a
2000s
variety, yeah.
to the 2010s to the 2020s.
Yeah,
Always going to have a hit. And everybody knows him as a Jamaican, but he's not Biggie. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not Jay-Z. He's not, like, for some reason, Snoop Dogg doesn't get into that conversation enough. which maybe to his detriment. But
Is Sean Paul the Drake of reggae dancehall?
in a sense, with the whole mixed light skin, perceived privilege type vibe, yeah, and the mainstream, less street,
Highest
more
grossing,
generic, high
Can
grossing,
jump from genre to genre.
yeah. I can see that. I
Code
can see
switch,
that.
essentially.
So that's why I could see why Vybz could say that. You
Yeah,
know?
because Vybz is like, he's Kendrick.
I am undeniably
He's Kendrick in this situation, I guess, if you're gonna call Sean Paul Drake.
the irony because now you know the support that he gets from Drake and vice versa.
Yeah, he got that OVO chain from Mr. Morgan.
One of two.
It was a camouflage.
One of two is crazy.
Owl.
The boy and the boss.
Crazy.
Sick.
But that really instilled my confidence that OVO Fest is gonna happen. Like it's not only that, it's also obviously what's been happening with America and Canada right now. On a smaller scale, what's been happening with Drake in America. It's like he seems to be doing everything local. He's doing everything local. He got the PND album come out. You got the
Nokia
Aiden Ross
video.
stream. They did it in Toronto. Yeah, Nokia video, all Toronto dancers, tribal carnival in the video. So it's like you're seeing more of a focus, and he's verbally said it in songs like, "Y'all boys ain't getting no features from me anymore."
Yeah, that's
Like
it.
I'm keeping it here. And so this would be the perfect time to bring OVO Fest back and just bring people he fucks with, 21 and
You know
all those
what?
guys.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna do OVO Fest at the new Rogers.
New Rogers
Stadium.
Place. Exactly. Because Live Nation, Live Nation and him are obviously
Partners.
very close.
Yeah.
And they need to introduce it because this
the
this
Downsview
stadium
Park
is not going to
Stadium?
be there for a long time. It's
only
temporary.
temporary,
It's
yeah.
very temporary.
It's a lease, a quick one.
And so they're gonna want to get bodies in there as quick as possible.
Yeah, because they already started announcing like Chris Brown is there, and Chris Brown's doing 2 shows.
Breezy Bowl's gonna be there at 2 shows.
Yeah, so they're definitely gonna do that.
And you got a lot of rock bands that are doing their shows there. And
They got to bring
yeah.
back SAR stock.
you're gonna. I really feel like we're gonna get day 1 Vybz Kartel and Friends, and then day 2 Drake and Friends,
Yeah.
and we might get a Vybz Kartel Drake track before then.
Wow.
Because he said he's doing his solo album, and he's been talking about it since Australia tour.
Yeah.
And so, they've been in the lab cooking up. He's probably going to drop it, if anything, at the start of summer. And if we get that Vybz Drake track,
now,
God bless to everyone.
now what are the Americans gonna say
God
now?
bless to everyone. And Vybz is moving very, very smart. He's matured so
strategic.
much. He's not any instance there could be of mix up or some gossip or some tea or whatever. He's choosing the high road. He's being the bigger
Always,
person
always.
nonstop. And we know that's not his character.
Yeah.
We know that is not his character. Bro, I saw Buju Banton and Vybz Kartel.
I was gonna say Buju was there, right?
Backstage. It's been 16 years. It's been 16 years. I'll never forget that time when Buju was on stage, and he was on stage with Vybz Kartel and Bounty Killer. And this Vybz is young. And Kartel is doing his mid-verse, and Buju takes the mic from him to sing his own. You know how clashes go. Usually, but it's usually well-timed. Like,
Yes.
a man's finished his verse. All right, cool.
Yeah, my
I'm
turn.
right into
my
it.
turn. Yeah.
But he just took it like mid-verse because he felt like Vybz was going too long
Yeah.
or some shit. I can't remember what it was, but you saw Kartel get like uncomfortable and like wanted to do something, but this is his icon. This is his number one MC. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna chill. And then Buju over the years would do interviews, and
he'd, like, sneak this
Kartel
in
would
and
come
stuff.
up. He wouldn't. It kind of sneak dissy, but like I get it. He was like, yo, this guy is so smart. The way he puts words together, everything. He's so intelligent, and his impact on the youth is so great. I want him to be more responsible. He was being an elder statesman. Buju's a spiritual, religious guy.
Yeah.
So he's just like, yo, the things that you are feeding the youth, look what it's doing to Jamaica. And at that time, to be fair,
And this is coming from a man that was in jail, in the same boat, in the
know what I
same
mean?
situation.
So it's like-
graduated while in the bin.
he's like, yo, I just want him to do better and be better for the people. And now you're seeing Vybz in that mode. But like, you couldn't tell 20-something-year-old Vybz.
Yeah.
that. Like, come on, bro. That guy was on his dean.
Nah, yeah,
He
there's no
that's
way.
when he was calling himself God.
Yeah.
And that's when they didn't like it either.
That's what all the older people got turned off from him. He was calling himself God, all this stuff, and now he's like, yo, I want God. Like you see the difference in him, honestly.
It's like to me. I look at that Vybz in the same way I look at the maturity of Cameron. You know, and
I can't see it.
Cameron and Mace in the sense that
Cameron
like,
and Mace are just as immature.
yeah, they're they're immature.
together. I'll give it together.
But you know what I'm saying?
But solo, yeah, no, for
You
sure.
know, like even when you see like Cameron having fun, you know, being like a goofball, and when he's making his videos for his pills or whatever, like
Yeah.
you could see he's like, back in the day he wouldn't do none of this, but now
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like he's open to having fun with himself.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Pause.
Yeah, he's not afraid to. Yeah, he's not in that machismo where it's like, I
Yeah.
gotta be the coolest guy all the
Not
time.
not overly macho.
But they are still very immature. Still very immature. Like those two guys, man. The pause, they're bringing pause back like on a crazy
Hey man,
level,
I will
man.
say that they are a big part of the resurgence of a bunch of old terminology.
They're the big, they're the catalyst.
They might have been the catalyst.
Stop at 5. You remember Stop at 5?
Hey, stop at 5.
Stop at 5 t-shirts, dog. They started the pause game, in my opinion. Like I never heard it until those guys.
Yeah,
Dave Dash was technically the first person I ever heard
It's a
say
Harlem
pause.
thing, yeah, for sure. It was a Harlem thing.
But yeah,
I've seen
no.
a clip of them schooling that girl. I don't know her name. That's on their podcast.
Oh,
That girl.
yeah.
I was just like,
she's
yo,
sick. she's really dope.
Yeah, she is dope, but I'm like, you could tell the age difference
She's young.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, she be calling them uncle and all types of shit all the time.
She'd be like, that's just the age difference. And they're like, no, you're crazy. This is how we feel about intern Hannah
man.
too. So
Yeah, facts. Friggin', jealousy has never filled my soul so much, man. This
about
concert
going
was
to New York.
Yeah,
Jester went there
FOMO.
for the
Oh, I do.
24 hours or whatever.
Would you
less
like
than
me
that.
to play his review?
Oh, okay, sure. Let's hear it.
It'll be very surprising.
Really?
The amount of people that said, I'm surprised Marlon's not there. That messaged me that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh yeah.
Listen, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get it. Listen,
It's right up the street.
I had work. I have stuff to do.
You'd think work would have sent you.
I'm not saying the concert was trash because the guest artist saved him, but he doesn't have the strength to do a show for 2 hours by himself. Like, honestly, after 3 songs, he was calling some guests, and Skilly comes out, and Skilly brings Molly out, and then Shansia runs out, so they're doing Shake It to the Max, and it's a moment. It's a moment. The place is going crazy. So he brought Kraft God out. He brought Neo, Spice, Lil Kim, Fabulous. Well, Neo came out. Fabulous came out. Neo set. YG Marley, Ja Vinci, Black Rhino.
This guy brought out the BET Awards. This is insane. Yeah, that's so.
I
Just
didn't even
attended the
see all
second
those
show.
people. Yeah.
That was the second show, and noticeably heavier on the guests.
But he was tired though.
Yeah,
I
well,
was
the
surprised
first
that
show
he did the 2 shows.
he had 2 hours. The first show, and his voice gave out for about 15, 20 minutes, and then Spice came out. And his voice came back. And he's like, that's why I'm like, Spice, she give me back my voice. And his voice was back and he was back on his shit. But like, bruh, when you're doing shows, especially a 2-hour show, it's like, you have to be a professional if you know you have a second show. I get it. You're in Brooklyn for the first time and God knows how long. Everybody wants to talk to him. So he's talking before the show. Nonstop. After the show's done, talking some more nonstop, dapping up this person, that person. Who knows? He caught a cold. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of artists, when they're on tours and doing shows of this magnitude, you don't see them afterwards. The person who might see them is the person who probably owns the stadium or like one of their top
Or you don't see them
sponsors'
before.
families. Yeah,
Maybe
even
you see them
beforehand.
after.
And even then, it's like you're limited to a couple people because you got to restore your voice. You got to save the voice. You don't talk to staff all day leading up to the show. You're drinking your honey, your manuka, your throat coat, all that shit. You're doing vocal warm-ups and exercises. And even it's just like exercising your body. Like you need a cool down exercise as well for your voice. You can't just
Yeah.
done. So it's like there's so much that goes into it that he's not thinking
definitely
about,
do it.
caring about.
He needs to
like,
get on his like Beyonce ritual if he wants to do those long.
It's
shows.
hard when Cardi B's showing up,
Yeah.
cheeks
Yeah.
out. Cardi B
damn.
was everywhere. Front row, box, backstage, dressing room. She was everywhere.
That's how big her ass was. It was everywhere. She could-
But yeah, no, she looked like she had the time of her life. Seeing her meet Elephant Man, that was wild. Seeing Elephant Man was wild. Neo.
Neo going
Bro,
off.
Vybz and Neo. I remember the first time Neo found out
Wait,
that he was on his song.
like Neo.
Neo.
Like the
Because
singer
remember,
Neo.
Miss Independent is
Yeah.
just Romping Shop, right? But Neo, for a long time, had never heard of the song. And I remember he was talking about, I think it was Breakfast Club or something like that, where he was talking about learning about this song or whatever. And even still, he didn't know the words or anything like that. And so for him to come out and perform,
Wow.
you never. And the thing is, that sucks. You're never gonna see it again.
No.
Like that was it.
Yeah.
All the firsts were happening at that show, and I'm pissed that Toronto didn't get it. I'm pissed, and it's literally because I'm pretty sure the whole border situation, like, America's
Probably.
just way more lax right now. And if we were just as lax, we would have had that show first.
Are they lax though?
I was gonna
'Cause ICE
say.
is
Yeah,
No, they're
if
lax.
there's
They're not
anybody-
lax for regular people. They're lax for like people like Vybz Kartel.
Well, you think this is where the boy would use his
Well, he
pull,
probably is.
You know?
Well,
Probably is,
that's
but he's
right.
probably got to
Vybz-
save it for.
Vybz-
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Vybz lives in America now,
Yeah, he moved to Miami.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
I don't-
said it's not safe for him.
definitely not. Like
Charlamagne's like,
as much
you
as
know,
there are
is
bad people
Jamaica
who are
safe?
happy he's here.
He's like, absolutely not.
For
As
me,
much as people are happy to be for him to be out, there's a lot of people who are very angry he's out.
Yeah.
Like you gotta think about all the lives that were affected before he went to jail. Some people still don't know where their family members are, and they attribute it to him. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't stay in Jamaica either. I don't blame him at all.
do you also think this is kind of similar? Maybe this is like a loose similarity to, like, let's say an Eddie Murphy, somebody that like came out the gate killing it, rose to stardom, and then didn't release anything for the longest time. Still hasn't released anything. Now that they're waiting for Vybz to drop something new,
Yeah,
it's like, do you think he can live up to what people were expecting?
No.
back in the day.
no, I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
So it's like,
I think
do
because
you
he's
want him?
matured so much, and if you think of the contents of his music before, a lot of it was gunman stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of it was very aggressive street shit.
Yeah.
I think with the gal tunes, he's always gonna have gal.
He's always
tunes.
gonna have boom boom
always.
tunes.
Pum
for
Pum
sure.
is always debut. But yeah, as far as the music, and I think he's an older head now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I don't think he's tapped in, and he's tapped in, but not in the ways that like would translate to a banger.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
So we'll see. And I mean, I would have to hear him on rhythms, not original songs. I want to hear him on rhythms, like back in the day when we used to
Yeah.
have rhythms that were like 30, 20 mans on one rhythm.
Right.
If I hear him on rhythms like that, I'll gain some, because then he'll get competitive.
Right.
And his pen still works. So I want to see it. Definitely wanna see it.
anything.
Speaking about pens working, Keri Hilson.
Keri. Oh, poor
Miss Keri, baby. She apologized
I'm sorry,
for the Beyonce diss song that came out
It wasn't me that wrote it.
a while back. Yeah, she said she didn't write it. Esther Dean did, which was news to me. Esther Dean didn't say shit for years. Esther Dean just
Dean came out.
apologized
Yeah, Esther Dean came out.
after Keri Hilson
I don't
exposed her. Keri Hilson was on Breakfast Club and said
But
Esther Dean wrote it.
Dean did?
Yeah, say Esther Dean. So then she was forced to go because the Beehive was on her ass.
Yeah.
She was forced to go into the story and be like, "Hey y'all, my bad." And the joke is Esther Dean wrote that song about Beyonce, then went and worked with Beyonce.
That's terrible. That's the.
What was it? Was it Irreplaceable
I think so.
or something?
No,
Maybe
didn't
not.
Neil
It's
write
a huge
Irreplaceable?
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil did that one. It was a huge song that she did with Beyonce though. Can't remember what it was, but she worked with Beyonce, Rihanna, and Keri Hilson just ruined her career for what?
Eh.
She said Polo the Don basically like bullied
Forced her
her
to do it?
and forced her into doing it. So why are you still working with him?
What does he know?
I don't believe shit that she's saying, by the way. I don't know if y'all clued in. I don't believe
Really?
nothing. I don't believe it. Like, I believe some of the things, like Esther Dean wrote it and all that shit, but I don't believe that Polo forced her.
She was into it.
I think she was very much into it.
She really thought that Beyonce wasn't going to be who Beyonce is, probably.
And she was feeling herself.
Yes,
She
I
had
got the
Love
number one
Lockdown.
joint. I got the joint
Yeah.
with Timberland right now. Nobody's fucking with me.
She got the Kanye joint.
Yeah.
She had, you know what I mean? She had the Cardinal joint. Tide is high.
Especially
but
the, like,
I'm
this used to be Rihanna, but we're gonna replace it with
No,
Keri.
didn't they do the opposite? I thought it was. This used to be Keri, and we replaced it with Rihanna.
Wasn't
Because
it
that's the
Rihanna?
version I hear now on the radio. It's just Rihanna.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they did.
I only hear Rihanna's version on there now. But
but
originally,
the video it was Keri.
Keri. Yeah. And she had some other tunes. And she's written for a lot of Pretty Girl Rock. That was the one. And she's had a lot of songs that she's written for other stars as well. So it's not like she's pent up for money or anything like
Beyonce,
that.
she wrote Start Over and Countdown.
Countdown.
was the big one.
That's the one. Esther Dean had some hits
She
for other artists.
looked like Genuine, Nicole Scherzinger, Rihanna,
Everybody.
Lloyd, Jennifer Hudson,
Yeah, man.
Mary J. Blige, Kelly Clarkson, Bridget
Jeez.
Kelly, David Guetta, Usher,
Jeez.
Wow.
Tiny Tempa, Soulja Boy, Trey Songz, Kelly Rowland, Katy Perry, Nelly, Monica, Ludacris, Nicki Minaj, Sean Kingston. Holy.
Yeah.
She said, I submitted a lot of verses for that remix. One got picked and it was co-written with Keri. Looking back, it was childish and didn't age well. I see how it hurt people, especially women. I take full accountability.
Co-written with Keri.
Looking back is nuts because Keri Hilson lost her career years ago.
Yeah.
And you said nothing.
Yeah.
You stood by and worked with Beyonce, the person who ended it.
That-
I've worked with and supported many women since, but that doesn't erase the moment. I'm sorry for my part in it. Growth is real, and so is this apology. See, whenever apology has but I'm a good person in it, they don't mean that shit.
You know what she probably did when she was working with Beyonce? She was probably throwing the blame on her, like she pretty much wrote the whole of that song.
Imagine she's in there like this. You hear that Keri Hilson, bitch?
Yeah, she was probably stating what Keri Hilson was stating on the Breakfast Club.
Oh man,
Stating her like, I didn't even meant to do this. Like I was forced to, and in fact, it was Keri's idea.
That's
and
rough.
Polo's.
Yeah, no,
poor
that's
girl.
rough.
Or she didn't even know that Esther Dean wrote it at first. Because you know how you can submit the songs. And
The biggest two career killers I ever seen was Sierra versus Rihanna and Beyonce versus Keri.
what about Tiana and Rihanna?
I was gonna say Tiana.
No,
versus
Tiana was fine after that. Tiana's career has actually blown up more since then.
Really?
Sierra's has gone down.
I think that it was pretty quiet for a little
Oh
while.
yeah, for a little bit, for sure. Yeah,
I
but
don't think it ended.
No.
But like, it's not like Sierra's career is ended.
no, it's not
She's
ended, but it's
around.
just not where it's. It'll never be where it was. She was 1-2 step. Like that was. That's the.
She was
I think
Aaliyah.
after Usher. Yeah, I think 1-2 step might be one of the most popular songs of all time.
That year?
No, period.
general?
In general. That is white people love
Everybody
1-2
1-2
step
step.
because it's the
I love
easiest
it.
dance ever. And Missy Elliott's on it. And remember, it was like an Adidas music video, kind of like there was mad Adidas in the video, so they pushed that shit out.
Well, Missy was signed to them, wasn't she?
And Sierra
time.
at one point.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, no, she had the world on a string at that time, and then
people started saying she was a man.
no, that was
that
before
was
that.
before.
That was his goodies actually.
Yeah, that was
his
at the
goodies.
beginning when she
Yeah.
really first came out. Like,
Yeah.
she popped then, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We need to find that kid.
Whoever
That-
did it.
that-
There was
that-
one kid
She
that
got
just
a-
said this
yeah,
one day.
She got a penis.
And it spread it to every playground.
Everywhere.
Everywhere across the world. One kid started that rumor.
We were learning about hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was in middle school, so.
It was the
Is it
same
a
kid that
he or
started
her?
the
It's a her math.
Tommy Hilfiger Oprah rumor.
What was that one?
Where Tommy Hilfiger was on Oprah and said he didn't make his clothes for black people.
Oh yeah.
That never happened.
That never happened.
Yo, this shit's hilarious.
And now his son's a rapper.
right?
Completely tatted.
You know.
Did you see it?
Insane.
Head
Insane.
to toe, tats everywhere.
Yeah, I'm
I
trying
don't know
to
where
think
to go
who
next.
else went into war with somebody and lost
And lost their career?
their career.
Career.
Like even back in the day, like someone going up against a Whitney Houston or a somebody trying to speak up against
See,
Oh,
Celine Dion, Mariah Carey,
and-
and
Mariah Carey and J-Lo. Well, J-Lo didn't lose her career,
No.
but Mariah Carey always acts like she doesn't exist.
oh yeah,
that's
because
right.
of Tommy Mottola though. That's not even of J Lo's fault. It was Tommy Mottola was trying to make J Lo the next her, and left Mariah Carey, started dating J Lo, and gave her all the songs that would have been Mariah Carey's songs. And yeah, tried to destroy Mariah Carey's career. That's why Mariah Carey's a beast, bro.
yeah.
You beat the devil.
Yeah.
Like his nickname is the devil in the industry. That's how cold that nigga was, bro. Yeah, no, Mariah Carey
Yeah.
different. LeBron's Barbie came out.
Barbie.
Barbie.
Oh, Barbie.
Barber? He has a barber?
I was gonna say, why is that?
barbershop.
Show yourself.
I'm like, why are we speaking on this? Who cares if his barber came out?
I know his barber been in hiding since the 2000s.
Because they want to, they gonna roast him. Like,
Yeah, no.
this is your,
You be doing
this is your work.
to the goat? Yeah, no. His Barbie came out.
Yes, with short, with ankle pants.
Yes. His ankles would be showing.
What would you do if you saw one of your boys in the line for the LeBron Barbie? What are you doing if you see one of your niggas in line for the LeBron Barbie? The LeBarbie.
The LeBarbie.
The LeBarbie.
Yeah.
The LeBarbie.
Were you here when I was talking about it on air? I'm pretty sure I was dissing him.
No, I wasn't here probably.
Yeah, I was dissing him real hard.
LeBron?
Yeah.
Why?
Not LeBron, the LeBron fans. that
Oh,
were
the
gonna
LeBron
line
sexuals.
up.
Yes.
Yeah. And say that they're not getting a Barbie, they're getting an action figure.
yeah, yeah,
Even though
yeah.
it directly
Yeah.
says Barbie right on the package.
LeBarbie, man.
In a pink, is it in a pink box?
Yeah.
No, is it?
It's a
I don't know, but
motherfucking,
it says
it's
Barbie
a
right
doll.
there.
You playing with dolls.
You playing with a doll.
How do you
Niggas
feel
are
now?
buying a doll of LeBron dressed poorly.
Yo,
The fit. Hold on, you put it on the screen. The fit is ridiculous.
all the accent,
He
all the
approved this fit.
all the clothing accessories are terrible. Like
He
every
approved
single
this
one?
fit, bro. You got on plaid
no.
pants with the
Oh.
Music Soul Child fitted.
This guy did the above the ankles, but then said, "I'm gonna still cover the ankles with my high tops."
Wearing black socks is diabolical for your Barbie. Oh my God.
They should have actually left the hat off and put
They
the.
have. You can take it off.
Yeah,
You
does-
can?
Yeah.
Does he have the ball spot too
No,
though?
he doesn't.
No,
Oh,
supposed
his
to have-
hairline's
see?
fully intact.
Yeah, nah,
Nah, man, you're lying to the people,
Let me see.
brother.
Let me see. Why do they gotta look like Lil?
He looks like Lil Rel.
He looks like Lil Rel, man. What the hell? He looks like Ozempic Rel.
Ozempic Lil Rel. Ozempic Rel.
Lil
That's
Bron.
funny.
That's Lil Bron.
Lil Bron.
And got the.
That's what they should have done.
side
They should have
patch.
done
Penny.
Penny. They should have. Oh,
They shoulda
see?
done Penny
They
with
shouldn't have
him.
made him Barbie. They should have made him ventriloquist.
Yeah. Penny, those are some of the greatest basketball commercials ever.
Yeah.
That time frame for basketball commercials, you had Grandmama, Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
And then you had the Penny, the little puppet, and it was Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. It was Chris Rock.
Yo, I just remembered that was Chris Rock. That's gangster. Chris Rock's had a hell of a career, man.
But didn't they have like a doll version of LeBron at one point and Kobe? They did a Kobe versus LeBron. The
Oh
puppets at one
yeah,
point. So they
yeah.
tried to return
That
it.
Muffets commercial was hilarious. Where they're talking about rings. yeah. That was good. Yeah. Yeah, no. What are you doing if you see in your man's?
Buying dolls? I mean, I'm not gonna knock them. Like,
Yeah,
here's the thing. 'Cause
blazed.
I feel like the
Blazed.
people that I know would buy that already do that. Like they're collectible guys. Like they'll, But
But
then
so
if
it'd be
it,
collectible thing.
yeah, but then if it's like, if it's just a fan,
What if it was one of your boys that wears like a LeBron jersey to Lavelle when LeBron's there?
I'm in the comments. I'm in the comments on the actual
Yeah.
Barbie post. So funny. Person said
man
this is
showed up
honestly the
to-
perfect gift for a bronze sexual in your life.
Exactly. A man who
LeBron
shows up to the Lavelle in a Cavs
Yeah.
jersey
yeah.
because LeBron's hosting.
Now if somebody,
Shows up with the doll.
yeah,
Trying to get it signed. He's at the club. Yo, you niggas are fatherless.
it'd be really funny if somebody just went to line up to buy the doll to give it to their Michael Jordan, like their friend that loves Michael Jordan so much.
Yeah,
He's
don't
just like,
buy me a doll.
This is for you, my man. Like,
Actually,
There's a lot of guys in
Actually-
these comments on Barbie's Instagram.
I'm not
I
gonna
think this
say
is the
don't buy
most.
me a doll. Still,
Hey man,
You'd want it?
I'll take 2 dolls.
Okay.
I'll take Cartel and Doodoo Bucket guy.
Doodoo.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, the Toronto Doodoo Bucket man.
That'd be such a hard, that's such a conversation starter. You just put that on your coffee table. You got the bucket, doodoo in hand,
See, but once again, because it's a doll, it's
or the
one
believe
thing.
guy.
Or high five believe guy.
And then it has like a little bubble coming out saying believe.
Imagine if it was just the Toronto staples that you have Xanta, you have Believe, you have like every staple dude.
Well, we can do that now.
I mean, it can be
Because
done.
the AI image generator. You see the
3D
specific
printing.
app.
Yeah.
There's a specific app for toys.
Yeah.
That's sweeping the nation right now.
Right.
I don't know why people are latching onto this, but they're so smart for advertising right now. But I made a toy from one of my things. Did I show you guys here? Mm-hmm. My boy made it with his 3D printer.
Yeah. Oh shit. It can be done.
So it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I have a custom toy site saved just in case you want to do action figures for the podcast.
And see that's so there we go. That's what I was gonna say.
There's
makes
other things, and
action
you
figures.
can do custom. What's it called? Pop figures. What are those?
Oh, those pop
Funko
fig-
Pops.
Franco Pops. You can do
Yeah.
custom ones that are based off of your looks.
Yeah.
As well.
That's-
I made some for my nephews. because
Why don't they have
ones
like
that
a
Your
walk-
name
Build-A-Bear
and all that.
for Funko
They
Pops
do
yet?
in the States.
But it's only online.
No,
yeah,
they
I mean,
do in States.
Oh,
There's like
James was saying it was
actual-
online.
Yeah, there's actual like physical location.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
I think
sick.
it's there's one in like Cali for sure. Yeah.
They
I
do
mean-
they do bobbleheads.
Bro, I want to get a 3D printer and just make that a pop-up.
Yeah.
Come
Just
paint
come and get
yourself. Come buy yourself, paint yourself.
Mm.
That's hard.
You know
I
what?
just gave you guys another $1 million idea.
now that I think about it, I think just because it's a Barbie doll, that's why it's an issue. If it was a bobblehead, if it was an action figurine, if it was anything else but Barbie, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
They
Because
sold
it's
out in a
specifically
minute.
Barbie.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They sold out in a minute.
There's a man that
gone.
showed up in a full LeBron jersey and shorts and everything and had a choir behind him singing that LeBron song.
to get
LeBron,
to get the Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. In the
He
comments,
hired a full choir.
in the comments, beer guys asking if the clothes come off.
Okay, you know what?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all trying to sexually assault the goat's doll?
They're like, did the clothes come off?
That's
Like,
insane.
what? This is crazy. Why are you asking this for?
So who do you think's worse, LeBron sexuals or Jordan whores?
Sexuals.
Sexuals.
Jordan whores are actually justified.
Yeah.
Like, I was there. I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. I understand it completely.
yeah.
One thing I don't understand is why the BBLs are stinking. Why am I learning that BBLs smell like death?
I'll tell you what. This is my theory.
Theory.
People that didn't have it before don't know how to take care of it now that they got it. They
all
wasn't
that extra
used.
cheekage.
They wasn't used to cleaning
It's a
them
lot more surface
crevices.
area.
Way more neathage that they got to get in between.
Word.
There's so many more crevices that they don't realize they had to reach out.
I hate where the pussy is after a BBL.
Now the BB.
Not in the right spot.
It's not in the right spot. You got to get so low underneath that
get
bitch at a
low,
different
low,
angle that you would
low,
never
low.
get at for buckas.
because you
It's
have all this-
underneath. It's
Right,
not. It's
right.
not in the middle anymore,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that affects stroke.
Now you have this thing impeding your-
progress.
impeding the pump.
Yeah, man.
You don't want to know
That's
if pump
why they all want like the
impediments.
huge
Yeah.
penises because they got the BBLs. And
Oh no,
you
no,
need a bigger one?
it's not even about that. Well, that too, I guess. But well, yeah, you gotta have meat to get through the chips for sure. But it's just the angle of the vagina after a
This is
BBL.
different. Mhm.
It's like you're so used to it being in a certain spot. It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Where's the pussy?
Wow.
Yeah, no. But the BBLs apparently are stinking.
I think it has to do with like the flesh and moving that
Oh,
from
yeah.
different parts of your body, and that's why it starts.
That's
stinking.
fucking nasty, bro.
Yeah, because like your body could reject a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? You get implants, they could reject it. You could get certain things like piercings, they could reject it. So that's why I think.
Ugh.
You can
Not only do you
reject-
have to endure that pain, Not
For a
only do
very
you have
long
to
time.
bleed into
Yeah.
that faja, not only do you have to sit on all fours in the back of the Uber because you can't sit on your ass.
Yeah.
on the way home.
You have to lay on your tummy or something.
Now the shit stink.
Yeah.
You know what? You know
I'm
what?
not
too?
going to Nobu after 8. That place stinks. Yo, mad BBLs in there.
You know, there's certain spots on the toilet seat you wouldn't touch, but now your ass is bigger. It's touching surfaces of the toilet that it wouldn't have touched before. So now you got
now you got to aim,
you know?
different even. Like when you sit in, and the legs must die so much quicker.
Ooh, you know
Your
what
legs
I'm
must
saying?
fall asleep so much faster with the BBL. You can't keep a
cut
toilet
up.
seat. That shit shifting.
Right. Oh, you just see like, you know, the lines from like sitting too long.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Look,
That's just a dirty person.
toilet imprints on a BBL.
Toilet imprints is sick. Yo, if you get off the toilet and there are imprints, yo,
like-
you need exfoliants.
Can you just imagine
that
like
is dead skin.
the skin just like folding underneath the toilet seat in areas that like skin wouldn't normally touch?
I'm disgusted.
The germaphobe in me is just like, ugh.
I'm disgusted.
So there's many opportunities for the bacteria and things that stink to get trapped in that bigger surface level.
I need
You know?
this guy to break it down for me.
Break down the booty.
This guy, I found this guy on Twitter, and he is
BBLO.
he should be locked up.
Is he certified or no?
Sarah J is in the top 10. Now you're trying to say that Pinky wasn't even in the top 20. Now I have to give you guys a goonery lesson in my top
A
10.
goonery lesson.
Ranked on longevity, who they faced in their prime, and of course who I had the most of in my class. Number one,
Longevity, who they faced in their prime.
And
Lock him up.
He's talking like shit like Pinky's Jordan, bro.
the caption says an
My
ESPN
goat,
breakdown of
Cherokee.
OG
She faced
porn stars.
everyone
My
in
goat
their
Cherokee,
prime,
she faced
from
everyone in
Matt
their prime.
Pipe's prime.
Whoa, knowing
The men
nigga
too.
porn stars,
No notes.
knowing man porn stars, and he's just there's no notes. He's saying this off dome.
Yeah.
He practiced.
Oh, he
had to
practiced
practice.
all right. Mad dress rehearsals.
Dude, he has his male goats too.
All-time great performances, plenty of classics. It is undeniable that she is the GOAT. She faced a young, hungry,
Oh my God.
up-and-coming future legend in J-Mac. Put her up
A
against the
young, hungry.
That boy starving.
He made it homie sound like he was fucking Kobe now.
She faced a young, hungry, in his prime J-Mac. What does in his prime mean?
He wasn't
I don't
moving
know,
on
he was
to.
young,
He wasn't moving on to like.
Is he talking about dick prime?
move, like I don't know.
Maybe,
Or is he talking about the caliber of women he had in that era?
I think it might have been like he hasn't started venturing into the deeper sexual fantasies. Like he just kept it pump.
I don't know.
you
This sounds like Strokes, man. I feel like he's judging Strokes. Man said in his prime.
But at this point, he's talking more about the dudes than he's talking about the women. I'm talking about homegirl Pinky.
Brian Pumper.
Yeah,
and she
when
had
you said
chemistry
Brian
with all of
Pumper,
them.
it made me
All-time
flashback.
great performances, plenty of classics. It is undeniable.
Plenty
that
of
she is the GOAT.
classics.
She faced a young, hungry, up-and-coming future legend in J-Mac. Put her up against the best of the best today, and she still will dominate. Number two,
The Stephen A.
I'm
of
gonna admit
porn
now I
right
wasn't
here.
a big fan, but she faced the greats and collaborated with my GOAT Cherokee plenty of times. Pinky. Pinky was a true pioneer of her time. She was one of the first
You're not
women to
lying.
be fully independent with her own website. She gave other
How
women
does he know
exposure
that?
through her website. She gave back to the game. Her decline was steep. It was like watching
Her decline was
Her
steep.
decline was steep. Her decline was, you know who Pinky is?
Yeah.
Yeah, she turned into a thumb later on. She definitely was not the same as her early days.
Yeah.
If you look at the old Vlad TV interviews, you will see what she was going through.
He's
And
watching
Studied them.
respect
He
for the
studied
external
them.
that she put on while
interviews.
She was going through all of that. Number 3, Jada Fire, straight killer.
Yeah.
She made things better with just her presence. Went up against the best of the best.
He not lying.
That's true. That's true, man.
He not lying.
Number 4, one of the veterans in the game. She was more than a pretty face. She did all the dirty work. Olivia O'Lovely.
Oh my
All the
God.
greats, collaborated with the greats. Ask your uncle about those double-sided DVDs. He will sit you down.
It
and
said
teach you about how
double-sided
great that
DVDs.
woman
It wasn't
Number
in your
5,
time,
Maya
Kobe.
G. She came in the game at a later age. The industry spits young women in and out to this day, but she stuck around. She was a consistent top performer. She put on classics with Nat Turner and Lex Steele. She never had that mainstream classic, but if you know, then you know. Number 6.
This guy is unreal.
Alexis Texas. Yes, I know.
This guy is
the seasoned. He is the Stephen A. of porn.
Wow.
Why is Matt acting like he doesn't know? I feel like Matt could have done this.
I know exactly.
That
Everybody
was
he
seasoned
named.
commentary, man.
I cannot do that.
You could do like the Instagram.
Yeah, you can do
version of
Instagram.
who
Yeah,
you
yeah.
follow.
He's like, I can do Instagram. Instagram, I got that.
I've seen her come up. Oh, yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
But being all the light skin likes. But yeah, you a colorist.
Don't do that.
Wow. Colors?
Nah, your palette is
crazy.
multicultural. My bad. How dare I insult your thumb?
But this guy's been like a perv for how long?
Over a decade. The names he was naming, or like when I first started watching porn, that's who he's talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Olivia O'Lovely, Jada Fire.
Oh man.
Does she still have braces? Like it's been so long.
But you know how like when interviewers, start early, they're doing like the smaller interviews.
That guy's
Like
different.
this guy made his way.
he's
through all
been
these
to
years.
mad of those
Sex conferences,
those
and whatnot.
conventions.
Yeah, the
You
conventions.
know he's been to Exotica.
He's went to.
That's real fandom.
You
right
know
there.
he's been to Exotica mad time. He probably had a booth. Boy had a booth.
You know when he
man.
said
Yeah.
Brian Pumper, that's when I was like, oh yeah, he did.
World Star Zone.
He really tried to recruit me. Remember?
That's right. I remember.
Yeah, I shared that story before in LA.
Yeah.
My
That's what he does,
first
man. That
time.
guy be trying to recruit women on the street.
I think I still have the card somewhere.
I'm
sure I could find it.
You kept it.
As a memory.
You're like,
So when I'm going
Alicia
through stuff
Pumper,
I did,
just in
I
case,
can
or-
see it. I'm just like, good times, because I forgot about it until I seen his name.
Actually,
Sometimes you got to see those pieces of things that jog your memory.
might have to
hilarious.
dust off that card, huh?
Alicia Pumper. Ace Pumper?
Ace pump.
Ace Pump. Ace Pump. Oh my God. China.
Yeah.
China.
I love it.
I love what is happening right now with China on the internet. They are letting the chopper sing. Trump introduced 145% tariffs to the Chinese people, and they retaliated with 125%. And they've also today, I think, stopped the manufacturing of Boeing aircrafts. They'll no longer be working on those. There was an interview a woman had with a Chinese delegate, and she was just like, "Are you guys not worried about your relationship worsening with the United States?" He's like, "We don't care. we don't care."
He goes, "We've been here for 5,000 years. We'll be here for another 5,000
years.
He's like, oh shit.
They've been
He's
holding it down for a very long
The
time.
U.S. seems to think that they're the only country in the world. There are plenty of countries outside of the U.S. that would love our manufacturing and love our work.
Yeah.
So we don't give a fuck. They're on TikTok right now. Videos and live.
Just revealing.
This
Exposing.
guy did a whole thing on the Birkin bag and
You
how
want a
much
Bir-
it really costs.
Holds it up.
You think made in
You've seen
China
this
is
before.
cheap? Made in China is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? It is cheap, but not the quality.
First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called DUKIE from Italy. And the second
even tell
is
you the
Wine
suppliers.
Palomino from Germany. And
Like
the
they're letting
third
out
is
all the
Boss from
secrets.
France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil Al Chinois from
Chinois.
France. This is actually the USD. And then the cost of human resource. The French artisans is much more expensive than Chinese artisans. To finish one bag, the human resource cost will be 600 USD. package. Now this is not that expensive, it's 10 USD. So now to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,400 USD for one
bag.
Birkin out of factory. But why Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag? That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about
brand.
the logo, you just want the same quality, same material, you can just buy from us. Because for our bags, we use
They cutting out the middleman on y'all, bro. They cutting out the middleman. They said, yo, y'all want this? We got you. And they're lying. They will give you the logo.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
They will give you the logo. They're just saying they can't
They don't
say
care.
it. But they
don't
will
care.
give you the logo. Dog, they're on TikTok lives.
What about
I
that
saw like
other
5
app,
or 6.
Red?
Red Note?
Yeah, have you gone on there since it happened?
I haven't gone on it, like checked it out. I should though. I should see what's popping over there. I went viral once on there. It was so difficult.
All the stuff that's actually been deemed as fake or knockoff, everyone's been like, well, I guess it's not a knockoff no more. This is official.
But that's the
This
thing,
fake
those-
Supreme
It
is
never
actually
has
real.
been. It never has
The
been.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
DH, like DH gate girlies, they've been saying, here's a link, here's a supplier. You guys could get your Chanel, you can get your Gucci, you can get your LV, whatever else you want from here for way cheaper. And I promise you, if there's any mistakes or differences, it's
I've seen rich
the
white women.
untrained eye would even be able to. There's this one woman from Jersey, I forget her Instagram name or TikTok name.
With the purses?
Is she like a housewife? But she says that she's spilling all the housewife secrets.
Oh, no, I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, so she has been doing this for a while, and she'll be like, I go on DH Gate and I buy the cheap ones. You think I'm gonna be walking around these streets with a $50,000 bag? She was like, I have the real ones. I'll bring the real ones out for like high-end events or something like that. But she was like, my day-to-day when I'm walking in these New York streets, when I'm on the subway, I'm not carrying around a $50,000 Birkin.
Yeah. Well, it's all
Well, that
about
goes
perception.
to show that the people are still paying for perception.
And
That's
It's
she
all
even
about
said-
perception
yeah,
because
no one
honestly,
cares
if
about the
you're
quality.
perceived to have money, it does. Like so many of these celebrities have been called out for fake shit. Like there's
lot
a
of them wear
couple
fake jewelry
watch.
now, yeah.
There's a watch buster page that I used to follow that would call out celebrities all the time for fake watches and shit like that. Because if the perception is you're rich, why am I spending money? I get it completely, and I get what she's doing. She's getting the fake ones and getting the real ones because when she goes out to certain places, she knows certain people will figure out what's a dupe and what's not.
Yeah.
So in certain crowds, she's like, I'm gonna wear the real shit. But on an everyday thing,
No.
I completely understand it. I used to be like that with sunglasses. Like
But
I would
she
get
says
Ray
it's the
Bans off
same
there
for
because I'm like, I'm gonna break these.
Yeah,
or
I will
lose them.
never buy expensive
Sunglasses,
sunglasses.
right?
I always lose them, or I always break
exactly.
them. But yeah, she said that a lot of the housewives are buying fakes. They don't actually buy the real ones.
Recession indicator. But yeah, no, I feel like this definitely solidified that market a bit more. And what's really doing it is the lives. I've seen about 5 or 6 TikTok lives straight from China where they're showing you the product. Like here it is. This could be yours. Look at it. This is how we stitch it. Here's the stitching. Here's the lining. This is the bag it comes in. You even get the card. You get this, you get that. It's all legit. You just got to buy from us.
Yeah.
And for people that's like, it's blowing a lot of people's minds. And I feel bad right now for people who are in the States that rely on China's exports.
Yeah.
Because
that's true.
so many businesses are about to be belly up.
Yeah.
Because they won't be able to afford
a lot
these
of
new
hair
tariffs.
businesses.
Ooh.
So like Ming Lee, she's very popular in the hair business, and she has talked about going to China for years now to get her supply, and that's probably going to be an issue for her. And she sells millions of dollars worth of weed.
Not really. It depends on how she goes about it. Because what they're telling, especially small business owners in America, come straight to us. Don't go through whatever channels you went to before because those are where it's going to tax you.
No,
we
she
won't
goes.
tax
She
you.
goes straight to.
She'll be fine then.
She'll go straight to them. But is she considered a small business when she makes millions?
Well, as long as she's not going through the U.S. government, they don't care. That's what they've been preaching on the side. It's like, yo, like, come straight to us, cut out the middle person,
Yeah,
and
but
we'll
then
get
how
it
do you
handled.
get it back into the country without the U.S. knowing? You know what I mean?
They have like a whole bunch of different like methods now that they're trying
They're
to show you.
teaching
Like,
people how to do it.
You could do it by claiming it as this or claiming it as that.
Opening an LLC and putting it under this. Like they're literally teaching people how to cheat the American system.
You could still buy our stuff.
Yeah.
At the same price by doing this. That like basically before the tariffs came in, they're like, all right, this is the price. But you could still pay that price, but by doing this. And like they're telling you all these other things. It's pretty much the same price. You're still gonna buy this maybe a little bit more, or a little bit less, but you're gonna have to spend more money on doing it this way. And it still works out to be the same price. Yeah. But it's honestly like the problem is there's so many things that China makes, like small parts and pieces that like everybody needs. And even if they teach all these people how to make those things, and there's all these other factories that like, you know, create these things that people need, no one has been doing it as long as China. So the quality will always still be worse than made in China.
That's what
so
they
while
say.
people are saying, oh, made in China is not that good, guess what? What you consider not good is still going to be better than what you guys try to attempt to do, because we've been doing this all these years to catch up to our level of technology and how we
already see how far behind we are.
Exactly.
Like in general.
in general.
And
In
just from a
general,
discipline
China.
standpoint.
Yeah.
And from a
China's
it's a
discipline
cultural
is
thing.
instilled in their culture. Like that's what hard work is rewarded heavily.
And look, okay, think about this. The freaking Gardner Expressway is going to be in construction for another year and a half. Just between Jameson and
It would have
And we
already
see those
been
that would have been
videos.
done in 2 weeks in China.
we see those videos.
You know
where,
what I'm
like,
saying?
A bridge is broken down. They fix it in the day.
That would have been so dealt with, but like we deal with so much red tape here because we're a socialist country. We got to make sure that everybody's okay with everything.
Listen,
Are
I'm
you
a
cool?
big-
China just does it. It's like, nah, man, we know what's right.
I'm a big advocate of we need to be told what to do. I think China's they've figured it out. I don't think people like the
Not
freedoms
everybody knows.
that we want and fight for. I don't think we deserve
or
a
can
lot
handle.
of them or can handle because you see what happens with certain freedoms and how far people run with it. It's the reason why Trump got reelected. It's the left went too fucking crazy with all the freedoms and the liberties, and now people are like, no, rein it in. We need guidance. We need structure. Like this, we can't just be doing whatever the fuck we want.
What would you rather, knowing you don't have a choice, or not knowing that you actually don't have a choice? But you think, sorry. Let me rephrase that.
I wonder.
No, okay. So I feel like in China they know they don't have the freedoms that like Americans think they have.
Yeah.
Would you rather know that you don't have the freedom, or
Yes.
be
secretly controlled.
ignorant to the idea?
No,
that
I'd
you
rather
don't-
know.
You'd rather know,
it's
right?
just like knowing racists. Like I'd rather know within what bounds is my life, within what framework am I allowed to operate in, and once it's just like
'Cause
what's it called? So I was reading this thing where it's like they talk about how if you go to bed and you watch the same show like every night when you go to bed, it's a form of emotional regulation. So like it's familiar.
Yeah.
You don't have to guess. You're not gonna be surprised by anything.
You already know what the
And so
outcome
you already
is.
know what the outcome is. So you feel way more calm and
Secure.
relaxed. It's kind of the same thing. If I know for a fact this illusion of free will have you fucking confused and frustrated because you think you're doing shit that you want to do, but then you find out you've been influenced, or you think that you can do certain things and then you find out you can't.
It's the hidden
that's why-
agenda, but I feel
but
like that even goes back to relationships as well. If you were just straight up forward and put everything on the table, then that's way better than you having to guess and, you know.
Or even you being the person making the person guess.
Yeah.
Because now you're in a
or
precarious
like
position.
lies and
or
stuff
lie.
like that,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
trying to keep a train
facade.
of lies,
Yeah.
receipts of lies.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I feel is the difference between Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy. In the East, they tell you what it is. This is what it is, and in the West, they make you think it's
Precisely.
this. But
Precisely.
there's still it's like this
Passive
idea
aggression.
of freedom. But it's like, is it really freedom?
You
Though?
don't have
It's
free will over here.
manipulation.
It's they
like a
make
form
you
of
think that
manipulation.
you're free, but it's really
It's all marketing.
they're still trying to get you to do the same things that China would tell you got to do.
We
You
care
know?
about how we look in North America.
Very much so.
And in the East, they care about what's being done.
Yes.
What can we produce? What is the hard, cold facts?
No, they also care what they look like Or like they care about what they look like in the eyes of the general public.
Yeah.
Because the caste system is so big that
Yep,
it's like, okay,
yep.
my fellow man and my higher ups will say, boom, the social credit system and all that stuff. Like, so they do care, but like it's not tied to superficiality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tied to like, okay, this makes sense. You got to have good credit. You have to be a good partner to you. You have to make sure you're not late. You can't be, unpunctual and tardy. Like these are all valid
Even
things. Where
social
like,
credit scores, where it's like you have to be a good person.
you have to be
you
a
won't
good
get a home.
person. You know what I'm saying?
If
You
you're
won't
not a
get
good
home.
person, we are not giving you a home.
If you jaywalked and you were like impatient and didn't want to follow the rules, okay, look, this is a bad person.
And that's why you see kids in fucking Tokyo walking to school at age 6 by themselves. Like that, when you can live in a society
the
that's
crime?
structured that well, you don't have to worry about little things like that.
It's not built up like America's built off the Wild Wild West mentality of like,
It's too late now,
It's
though.
one.
you know what I mean?
We're too deep.
We're too deep.
Like people have had these liberties for so long. To rein them in now is mutiny. Like you're just gonna get anarchy. People are gonna riot in the streets because they've been used to a certain level of freedom for so long. The Chinese been the Chinese for 5,000 years, and they're gonna be the Chinese for another 5,000 years.
man.
Man.
Strength in numbers too. They said, hey, listen, we have enough to replace those that don't want to stand in line.
We got the population. We can sustain ourselves.
Yeah.
We're self-sufficient.
They're like, we don't even need.
We don't need immigrants. Like
Which is
y'all
what
do,
America
you know?
doesn't realize that they're doing with this tariff shit. Is you're making everybody else just more self-reliant, self-sufficient. Buying local is now the thing. If you have a buy local T-shirt in your country right now, you're making money because that's just the motive now. Is everyone's trying to figure out how to be self-sustainable. And I seen a video even today where a girl went. She's from Jamaica, and she went to the farmers and she researched different ways that farming can be done in Jamaica, and how agriculture should be our lead export, so that our GDP can grow, and as a result, everything else will grow.
Yeah.
Right now, agriculture only accounts for 9% in Jamaica. That's ridiculous. If you look at Jamaica, it's 9% agriculture.
It's a tropical island full of vegetation.
90% agriculture, and we're doing 9%. So it's like she's going around to these farmers and telling them about the options that they have, and you could tell they'd never been told these things before. And like
all they
she's
know
like,
is like to plant.
that's it.
You know what I mean? How
they
to grow.
know they know
like-
outside of it, but they don't think it's possible because the government is not investing in them for them to believe it's possible. Where if the government was investing in them for vertical farming or any other sustainable way of farming, where it's like less pesticides, less infection, less disease, higher yielding crops, all these things can be done. They don't care. Especially Jamaican government. They just want to line their own pockets, move to the south of France, and be done with everything.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They line their pockets. They live up in the hills till they get enough money. South of France, every time. And the hotels. She's like, "Yo, did you guys know that? Have you guys ever considered strawberry farming? Because these are like people are doing coconut, mango, and all that shit." She's like, "Have you guys ever considered strawberry farming?" They're like, "No, I never really thought about it." She's like, "You know, you can make $11 million just selling it to the hotels with 3 strawberry houses."
Yep.
You tell half of Jamaica that are farming right now. Even the stigma around farming changes at that point, because that's another problem is you have all these kids who want to grow up and be scammers, gunmen, all this type of shit.
Yeah.
And are shitting
want the
on
money.
and talking down on the farmers because they're not quote unquote educated or whatever the case may be. So it's just, the world's in disarray, but I like the patriotism that this is instilling.
The funny thing though is if Jamaica was to want to step up and have the technology and have
Be
the
up to the
things,
times.
to be up to the
No
times
syndicate.
when it comes to growing,
Write it down. I don't know why, but
all that to say was like you'd have to go through the Chinese Jamaicans to get all that technology.
well,
to grow,
that's the thing.
you know what I'm
China's
saying?
buying up all the roads and shit in Jamaica. They have so many businesses in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I mean,
Most shops that you go to, Chinaman running the shop. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Chinese Jamaican relationship is pretty strong.
And that
Yeah.
all comes from just Chinese efficiency. That has nothing to do with like, or maybe
and smart. They're buying up roads and they're buying up property in so many countries. and so much infrastructure in so many countries that like
Well,
they're
they're doing it
investing
here
in
too,
everywhere.
yeah.
Everywhere. And that's even just sending their people here to buy up the fucking condos and raise our. I'm like, that's warfare.
It's a different type of warfare.
That's a different type of warfare that they're doing. They're going into countries just raising shit.
At
And they're just leaving.
At any point in time, they
they
could create
don't
a
live
housing
here.
crisis all over North America. If they just said, all right, guys, pull out. We don't want these homes no more. Then what? Then all the prices go down. Nobody knows how to sell and
That's
make
the
money
thing
off
about
their homes.
racists. They don't think ahead. If you really want us to go back, y'all are fucked.
Yeah.
And that's what they're realizing right now. Go back to your country. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who picking the strawberries?
Yeah.
Who picking the cherries? Who picking all this shit? The apples. Y'all, white people are not doing that shit.
And here's the thing. I look at it like, okay, because the UK and China had their squabbles over the year, right? So if the UK has America to do the dirty work and come out with all that bravado while the UK stays prim and proper, China has Russia, okay? Like, you want to talk about...
And Russia's technically Asia.
They're what I always say. They're Chinese people with white
Technically
privilege.
Asia. If you go,
That's what they
especially
are.
you go to borderline China and Russia, you don't see a lot of white Asians. A lot. Like, just geographically, if you look at the map, it doesn't make sense that half of Russia is not Asia.
They call them winks.
He can say that. He can say that.
Yeah.
Can he?
Hey, man, I got...
Go to Thailand with them winks. That would have been way better for Migos.
Seen a wink in their armor. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in another week. Another fucking classic, yeah, bitch.
Yeah. Wink,
Marlon.
wink, nudge, nudge. I'm Norm.
Alicia.
And that was the extra gravy. Skirt, skirt, That's jokes. Wink in your arm is great.
I made that up. There's no such thing.
Oh my God.